accident, you need a lawyer, and you deserve an advocate. Insurance companies don't always play fair, but we can keep them in check. Most cases settle out of court, but we'll take your case to trial if necessary. You deserve an advocate.
This is the Monty Show, the truth in sports talk streaming. When you want unbiased opinions about your favorite team without the spin, all you have to do is find the Monty Show, streaming live and available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week on YouTube. And now, here's Monty.
Hey, the Monty Show live on Friday, January 31st, 2025. It's February. Let that sink in. Where is time going? Very interesting question when it comes to the Pac-12 in the Mountain West. We have exclusive details on what's happening between the Pac-12 and the Mountain West. Here's a question for you. Is UNLV a significant property? Why all the hate for UNLV lately? Don't understand it. All of that and more coming up. And I will try to contain my emotions this morning about the egregious, horrendous, awful, terrible snub of Phoenix Suns sex machine Devin Booker as an all-star. It is absolutely flagrant. It is offensive. My feelings are crushed that my boo is not an all-star. And yet James Larden is an all-star. And I understand. And no, don't even. LeCap should be an all-star, right? But listen, Mr. Wagovi, James Wagovi Harden, you should not be an all-star. If Devin Booker's not an all-star, there should be no all-star game. Fake outrage everywhere. I am shocked Devin Booker is not an all-star. Like, I understand that he got Trae Young'd. I totally get that. They don't call it a snub anymore. They call it
you got trade.
Yeah, you got trade. Exactly right. Good morning, everybody. Let's get right to work on the show because we do need to talk about the Pac-12 and the Mountain West. We have exclusive details on conversations and where the two are when it comes to these lawsuits. We were told by sources very close to the situation that, in fact, merger talks are not dead between the Mountain West and the Pac-12, that conversations have continued through the negotiating table and through the process of these poaching fees. And as we've talked about, it didn't make a lot of sense for the Pac-12 to file these lawsuits and try to get out of paying these poaching fees with the idea that they were actually going to go to court and fight the contract that says, hey, we've got to pay poaching fees. We've been telling you for several weeks now that our sources have said that's a lever that the Pac-12 is pulling to ultimately get their desired outcome. Now, as far as merger talks go, I am told that they have not sat at a table and negotiated, here's how we're going to merge. But back channel and relationally, the Pac-12 and the Mountain West have continued to talk about what would it take for a merger to happen. And the main reason that they are doing this is because neither the Pac-12 nor the Mountain West has found the numbers that they are looking for when they have been out in the marketplace negotiating a new TV deal. The Pac-12 in particular, I was told point blank yesterday, has struggled to eclipse at the top end of a TV deal, $8 million per school per year. It is a number that does significant damage to the viability of the Pac-12 moving forward. If they cannot get to that magical $10 million number, which is what most people believe they need to be sustainable, the Pac-12 is going to have a very difficult time being a viable G5 conference. Their only route to survival at that point would be merging with the Mountain West. And interestingly enough, people we have spoken to in the TV industry have made it very clear. As a combined property, the Pac-12 and the Mountain West, if they were to merge under the Pac-12 umbrella, would be north of $10 million. I've heard estimates as much as $12 to $15 million if they were to merge into one entity. This makes too much sense. It is why I believe the only option for these two is to ultimately merge at the end of the day. But Jake, do you believe it ever happens?
Yeah, I have a lot of trouble believing it ever happens because of the pride of the leadership in the Pac-12. We obviously saw that these two had been down this road where they had a scheduling alliance and there were agreements signed, and obviously the Pac-12 chose to go about it the way they did, where they poached teams and broke it off and wanted to create their own conference and burn some bridges through that process. So, does it ever happen? I would say, just based on my opinion of the situation, I would be a little bit surprised. Does it need to happen? Yes, absolutely. It needs to happen because these two are never going to thrive and never going to get to a great place financially unless they can come up with a better value proposition for the TV partners and just in the bigger picture. And when you look at what these two could offer if they were to merge together, it is a substantially more valuable package than if they're separated. So the hard part is like, when you think about merging, like one of the big things that everyone always points to is like, okay, well, who would run this new Mountain West Pac-12 merged conference? How would leadership look? And I think that was one of the sticking points of the last time that they tried to merge, with the scheduling alliance and everything. Gloria Nevarez was in control, leading the whole situation, helping everybody get done what they needed to get done. And I think it made Teresa Gould and company in the Pac-12 uncomfortable because I don't understand the strategy of, hey, we're going to say we're going to do one thing, but then we're going to go ahead and make this quick right turn and try to poach all your teams and do our own thing. And what was the end game at your current level? Because it would be different if the Pac-12, through that thought process, had the goal of being a power conference again. But we all know that that's not going to happen. So does it ever happen? Do they merge? I would be surprised. I would. I do think they're going to talk about it. I do think they're going to continue to work on it. But I just think it's going to be difficult when you have leadership in the Pac-12 operating the way they do.
Well, I also think that it has to happen because these two leagues will not survive. And we have put a lot of effort into this story this week. And I can tell you that the Pac-12 does not have a laundry list. They do not have a lot of options when it comes to making a TV deal. I will continue to tell you their best linear TV partner, and really their only linear TV partner right now is the CW, who has said and signaled repeatedly that they are open to continuing their relationship on a regional basis, not on a national basis, but as a West Coast entity. They are very happy to continue their relationship with the Pac-12. The problem for the Pac-12 is they're not going to end up on ESPN. They're not going to end up on Fox. I continue to be told that Gloria Nevarez has an excellent relationship with her TV partners. I continue to be told that CBS Sports Network and Fox through FS1 has an appetite and has said that they will continue and would like to continue their relationship with the Mountain West. At what degree and at what financial level that happens is yet to be seen because, as we've reported exclusively on this show, Gloria Nevarez is in significantly advanced talks for a new TV deal that is, in my opinion, important that she bring that home in Q1. I believe that the Mountain West has to continue to beat the Pac-12 to all of these landmarks. And if the Pac-12 is able to land a TV deal, and again, my sources are telling me the likely TV deal for the Pac-12 is most of their tier 2 games will be on CW. I believe that there is an avenue where their biggest matchup will be on TNT in a nighttime West Coast primetime window. And I think the remaining part of their package, which call that what you will, their least desirable matchups, however you grade that. Don't get upset. I'm not going to name names and be like, oh, Fresno State every week is going to be. You said
Fresno State was terrible.
Take it easy. Their least desirable matchups, I think, will be stream only. And I think that I was trying to get an answer about this fast channel that I have heard about with the Pac-12. And I continue to be told that a fast channel for their secondary sports in the Pac-12, stick and ball sports, track and field, swimming, volleyball, a lot of that could end up on a fast channel. And I understand that. You're losing money. We have a Utah story that will tell you about. Utah made a financial release that paints a very dire picture for the exiting 10 members of the Pac-12 as far as finances go in 2024. But if you put your secondary sports on a fast channel, that's a revenue stream. To what degree and to how many millions, I have no idea. Probably not much, but some is better than nothing. But all anybody cares about is, where is our biggest game of the week? And I think if you're the Pac-12, your best opportunity is TNT and the CW for linear TV. I don't see any way, shape, or form that CBS. I have been told repeatedly ESPN and Fox are not going to be in business with the Pac-12 at this point.
Yeah, and that's why I say, like, they should merge. I completely agree. I mean, you should merge. It's the right thing to do. Like, it would be better for everybody involved. But I don't know that both sides want to actually do that. I think that the Pac-12 is, again, and this is kind of right up the alley of where Florida State kind of was with things. Like, you're the stubborn kid in the room that thinks you're better than everybody and should be paid more than everybody, and you won't fall in line. You won't play nice in the sandbox. Yeah. And that's the hard part, is like, you talk about the Mountain West beating the Pac-12 to all these sort of kind of like benchmarks in the timeline. And they are. And again, I'm not sitting here saying like everyone always rips us for saying the Mountain West is in a better position, as if we're saying the Mountain West has like better brands or like,
even that we're like, saying that the Pac-12 sucks, which we're not saying
like
that.
What we're saying is that right now, as it's currently situated, the Pac-12 just is not in a reliable position.
They are not financially sound as a business entity. The Pac-12 in its current incarnation and where they are before a TV deal, before these lawsuits are settled, the Pac-12 is not on sound financial ground.
Yeah.
That is what this is about. And we can sit here and we can talk about, hey, you guys have always hated the Pac-12. Okay, if that makes you sleep well at night, great. The truth is not even in discussion here. They're not on financial ground. And the first thing that every Pac-12 fan says is, well, neither is the Mountain West. The Mountain West is in a far better financial position than the Pac-12 is. The Pac-12 financially, and again, let this sink in. The Pac-12 financially has thrown multiple Hail Marys up, and they've got to complete them all. They've got to win the Pac-12 poaching lawsuit. They've got to win the exit fee lawsuit with the exiting members of the Mountain West who are going to the Pac-12, suing the Mountain West to get out of entry fees. And when I say they have to win, they can't simply negotiate those fees down. Because remember what we're talking about contractually with Boise State. Boise State has an agreement with the Pac-12 to get significantly more revenue than they were getting in the Mountain West. And then other members of the Pac-12, this reimagined Pac-12, are going to get. If you do not win that poaching lawsuit, if you do not win those exit fee lawsuits, there is not significantly more money to give to Boise State. That's what is at stake here. So if you get a deal in media rights that's $6 million a year, I think 8 is the absolute maximum. If you wind up somewhere with a TNT, you could push $8 million a year. But here's the problem. Most people believe a new deal for the Mountain West will be $8 million a year. That's $8 million per school per year in a media rights distribution deal. That's not a windfall for the Pac-12. And furthermore, that's not a significantly better position for, I don't know, UNLV, who you in the Pac-12 believe you're trying to get. That's not enough to move UNLV to say, yeah, we're out. We're going to go to court and spend millions of dollars, multi-millions of dollars on a legal fight
that you don't have.
That you don't have. That's a great point. To try and get out of a contract we just signed with the Mountain West.
Doesn't make any sense.
Math is not hard here. It doesn't make financial sense. And when people's in the Pac-12, and I get it, you guys are passionate about your brand. I totally understand that. Take that passion out of it and look at it from an analytical business standpoint. It makes very little financial sense for the Pac-12 going forward. It is a very steep hill to climb. And the math does not add up at the end of the day.
Yeah.
The math does not add up unless you get $10 million per year per school and you win. If you get $10 million per year per school, this is where you are in the Pac-12. If you get $10 million per year per school in the Pac-12, you can afford to negotiate the poaching fees and the exit fees. You can try to pay less because now you're getting $10 million per school in your new media rights deal. That'll offset the losses to a certain extent. If you get 8, and certainly if you get 6, you have no choice but to go all in and try and win 0 poaching fees, 0 exit fees.
Right.
That's the only way it's viable.
Which, again, I just think that the whole concept of winning the poaching fee thing is futile because there's case precedent for days about, hey, like this is basic contract law. Contract said this, you signed it. Like we've been over that part of the conversation. So
yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. When you really boil it down and you put yourself in Teresa Gould's shoes and that whole team, trying to figure out what they're going to do. It's not realistic. It's not viable to think that you're going to go out and win all these cases and you're going to decimate the Mountain West. That's just not.
To that point, I'm really glad you said that.
I'm really glad that I said it too.
Yeah, you don't say many smart things.
I know.
Read the comment section, although somebody said you were sexy the other day.
Well,
in the comment section. Anyway, here, no, there. That's a lie. You're not attractive at all. Think about it this way. Who are you pissing off if you're Teresa Gould, you're the commissioner of the Pac-12.
Yeah.
You're out negotiating TV deals. Who are you really pissing off when you poach teams from the Mountain West? Think about it. CBS, Fox, their TV partners, their media rights partners in the Mountain West are the exact same partners you're trying to do a deal with. And so when you think about the relationship that Gloria Navarro as the commissioner of the Mountain West has, and again, Pac-12 fans will tell you for days, nobody likes her. I can tell you across the board, and I talk to television and media sources
daily.
She is universally respected. Gloria Navarro is universally respected by just about everybody I've spoken to.
Well, and I think if you stop there and you think about why that is, like look at what's taken place here. Who was the one that rocked the boat? Who was the one that caused all these issues and all these lawsuits and all this drama? Well, it wasn't Gloria Navarro. Gloria Navarro was the person saying, "Hey, look, like we understand everyone left the Pac-12 and that put Washington State and Oregon State in a pretty tough situation. So you can link up with us and we'll help you with that scheduling alliance. And, you're going to have to sign some agreements saying you're not going to poach our teams and stuff and not going to wreck this conference. But yeah, we're happy to help you." And this is the conversation I feel like we have a lot in sports, not even just in football, but like the nice guy is always the one that seemingly, gets taken advantage of. And so the problem is, I feel like, and this is my opinion, and I'm sure Pac-12 person will disagree. I feel like when Gloria did that deal initially for the scheduling alliance, she knew what was probably going to happen. She knew that, hey, this is Pac-12 leadership. Their conference is in the position it is because, they're obviously just not great at running the conference from a financial standpoint. And now they want to go ahead and get a scheduling alliance going with us. But what if their real intention is to poach these teams and try to reboot the conference? You can't tell me that she wasn't thinking about that, which is why everyone had to sign contracts and she made that as ironclad as she did.
And I did a guest appearance with Cofield and Company in Las Vegas yesterday. And Steve Cofield made the exact same point that I made a month ago. Where did Gloria Navarro come from? Well, she came from the Pac-10, where she was co-workers with all of the same people who are running the Pac-10, Pac-12, Pac-2. Her and Teresa Gould are not strangers. They know each other quite well. They have spent time together a lot. And when you look at Gloria Nevarez's track record, she is familiar with how they do business. She worked at UC Berkeley. She worked in the Pac-10 office at the time. I think it was the Pac-10.
Yeah.
Like, you look at their track records, these are not strangers. This world that we're talking about is tiny. All of these people know each other. And so when you're talking about Gloria Nevarez and Teresa Gould and how did this scheduling alliance come about, those are long-time relationships where you said, yes, I'm willing to, here's an olive branch, let us help you, here's a scheduling alliance. But don't steal our members. And if you do, you got to pay huge fees for that.
And then what did they do? They went and stole the members, and now they don't want to pay the fee. And so when you talk about whether they should merge or not, and this whole situation progressing, they should merge. That's the right business thing to do. You know, if this was, two small businesses, trying to accomplish the same goal, they already would have merged. We wouldn't even be in court. But the problem is that the Pac-12 is not trying to accomplish the same thing as the Mountain West. And so we find ourselves in this position where, once again, the Pac-12 as a conference doesn't have enough money to do what it needs to do. Once again, the Pac-12 is going to have to, buy, beg, and steal its way to existence again. And I grow tired and fatigued on this concept of, hey, we want to pillage other people's conferences to remake our own. Like, at some point it needs to be, hey, you know what? Like, our conference didn't work out and we're Oregon State and Washington State. Maybe we should do everything we can do to find a more reliable position for ourselves, whether that is joining the Mountain West or working with Brett Yormark to try to put something together, in the next couple of seasons to join the Big 12. But we all know the Big 12 is pretty happy with its current setup. Like, that's where this comes from. Desperation.
And I would also tell you an administrator, a college administrator, pointed something out to me that I had never thought about. Who's responsible for the Pac-12 being in Las Vegas? Who brought the Pac-12 championships to Las Vegas? Gloria Nevarez. Who's moving the Mountain West to Las Vegas? Gloria Nevarez. Who is intimately familiar how business gets done in that town? Gloria Nevarez. Who, at the Pac-10, in her time there, what was she in charge of? Well, women's sports and championship activities. Like, this is a lady who knows how to operate. She understands relationships at the political level. She understands relationships at the broadcast level and at the administration level at college institutions. This is the one who should be running the conference.
Yes.
And I think, and I've not confirmed this through multiple sources, but I've heard more than once, the reason that this is not a single entity today is because the Pac-12 didn't want Gloria Nevarez to have control of the conference. If they would have all signed off on Gloria Nevarez being the commissioner of this new reimagined Pac-12, this would have been done already, in my opinion.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
But again, you didn't want that. And my question is, what I think is hilarious is the Pac-12, even today, is sitting here saying that somehow they're not comfortable with Gloria Nevarez running the conference, or this super conference, if you will, this merged together conference. Yet you're the same people who ran the Pac-12 into the ground.
Yeah.
And I just think when you talk about relationships and how these negotiations impact other eyeballs in the room. Like, if you imagine a room and, Gloria Nevarez and Teresa Gould are at the table, they're sitting at the table negotiating, but over in this corner, you've got TV executives. Over in this corner, you've got prospective schools that would, look at joining this conference at some point. You've got, Calford, over in this corner thinking, damn, we should have helped put this conference together. Like everybody in the room is watching this go down. And the Pac-12 just continues to make itself look foolish. And that's why I say the day that arrives where the Pac-12 just says, you know what, we tried, we're not going to be able to reboot the conference, and we need to work with Gloria to get this done, is going to be a much better day for everybody involved.
And this has been going on for 2 years. This same exact conversation about the Mountain West and the Pac-12 has been going on for 2 years since really, if you think about it, it's essentially unchanged. They're both lacking stability. And it's because, and directly attributed to the actions of the Pac-12. And you've got to, at some point, if you're the Pac-12 and you want to survive, at some point you're going to have to bite the bullet and recognize you have not been able to do it on your own. You have, in my opinion, and I don't know that this will be popular or not popular, but do you understand how much of a victim Oregon State is here?
Yeah. Like that's the hard part.
Do you get how much insertion has happened?
Do you understand how
Oregon
good,
State?
Bro, do you understand how good Oregon State was before the Pac-12 melted down? Like, that was a team that you didn't want to go there. You didn't want to go to Reser. You didn't want to go and play that game. That was not a game the best teams in the Pac-12 wanted to go and play because they knew it was extremely difficult to win. And now, through no fault of their own, they're here. And I think the hard part is, Oregon State is a cautionary tale. At some point, you're going to have to, as an athletic department, you're going to have to make more money than just enough to pay the bills. You can't be, paycheck to paycheck as an athletic department forever. You have to, at some point, run your athletic department, in the green, if you will, in a place where you have a surplus, you're making money, and you can build up your coffers. And that's what I struggle with so much. Like, when you look at the Pac-12 and the Mountain West, like, I disagree with the idea that the Mountain West is somehow on shaky ground and the conference could melt down. I disagree with that.
If they lose UNLV.
But they won't. And the reason they won't is because UNLV, their fear of the unknown in the Pac-12 is greater than their fear of staying in the Mountain West. They're not going to leave the Mountain West, and the guaranteed money they've got coming in on this current deal and the one she's negotiating to go to the Pac-12, to fight the legal battle, to spend money they don't have, to do exactly what?
Yeah, and I think UNLV is one thing that UNLV is very business savvy. Whatever you want to say about them on the court and the field and whatever, that's a pretty well understood business university. And you look at the market in Las Vegas. I was looking at market analysis numbers because everybody comes on the show and just rips Las Vegas, and I truly don't get it. And I understand. Maybe maybe the comment section's right. I'm just stupid. That could totally be.
Well,
maybe all that creatine I take is actually having the reverse effect, right? Have you guys taken any time at all to understand that Las Vegas and Clark County, Nevada, just Clark County, Nevada and Las Vegas, is now the market size of San Diego? San Diego's population flatline. Clark County and Las Vegas, they're on the precipice of breaking 3 million residents. I mean, put that in your mind. And no matter where you're listening to this show, the city of Las Vegas was, what did we joke about? It was sex and gambling.
Yeah.
One building in the middle of a sand pile. It was essentially some dude went to the beach and built a sandcastle and put casinos and a bunch of hookers in there. And that's what Las Vegas was, with a bunch of mobsters running it. It's now a metropolis of almost 3 million people, which they will surpass this year.
Yeah.
They are now a more significant market than San Diego, California. That's the level. And we talked about Fresno State yesterday. And JC lost his mind over it. And do you guys understand? I was looking at population numbers. Do you understand the devastation that is taking place in the Central Valley of California? The shrinkage of humanity. And the other thing about this is with the geopolitical situation and migrant workers, and Those people don't even get counted in the census. And you're still seeing a significant shrink in the Central Valley of California.
Yeah.
And where are all those people going? They're going to the state of Nevada because the entire state is growing. But a lot of people are going to Clark County and Las Vegas.
Yeah, I just think like if we do a quick sidebar here on what people are experiencing right now in the country, like just in their day to day, I think people want a little bit more affordable lifestyle. People are a little bit burnt on man, everything costs like $5 for gas, like groceries are super expensive. Like
we were looking at houses in Summerlin the other week when we were at CES, which was almost a month ago.
Which is wild.
When we were at CES, we were playing golf in Las Vegas.
By the way, Royal Golf Club in Las Vegas, 10 of 10.
Yes, loved it. Housing prices are not cheap.
Yeah.
All of this to say, what is so difficult if you are Boise, Fresno, Colorado State, San Diego State, if you are, and I'm guessing that you left the graphic in here, but if you are anybody on this list,
yeah,
how come you can't math this out? Pull out the calculator, bruh. The numbers don't add up. If they do not win that poaching lawsuit, and if they do not win and not settle, if they do not win outright and don't have to pay poaching fees, the Pac-12 is going to be financially strapped. Because
back to the envelope calculations.
The Pythagorean theorem is just not on your side, my guy.
I couldn't agree more. And again, I just want to keep pointing this out. Who the hell are we talking about here, man? Like you're famous on the show for saying past behavior is the best determinant for future behavior.
Outcome. Your past action is the best indicator of future activity.
So if that's the case, which I agree it is the case, then why are we surprised that one, the Pac-12 melted down, one, two, the Pac-12 behaved the way they did with the Mountain West, and three, the Pac-12 is struggling to put A plus B equals C together.
Yeah.
That's what I'm like people are surprised somehow that the Pac-12 is struggling to get a TV deal. People are surprised that somehow, TV companies are not just jumping for joy and just at the feet of the Pac-12 leadership looking to give them gobs of money. Like, with all due respect, you can't go and, burn your neighbor's house down or attempt to, and then go to the other neighbor and say, hey, we're ready. We got all the furniture and everything, but, to get that, we had to burn this house down. Like, that's not how it works, dude. That's not like it's not like CBS is excited to work with you after you did that.
Yeah.
And I think we don't get access to a lot of those conversations and a lot of that sentiment. But I'm just telling you, like, if you just follow the behavior and the things that are going on and not going on, it tells you everything you need to know. So with all due respect, like San Diego from a things to do standpoint is a great market. The beach, the lifestyle, it is expensive though. Las Vegas, I probably personally, just for me, wouldn't want to live in Las Vegas, but that doesn't mean that the people in California who are leaving the state wouldn't want to. And we're seeing that take place. So forgive me for sitting here being like, yeah, I don't think UNLV's trying to change its position. Every school in college football, every school that's got an athletic department is always going to have the conversation about, hey, how can we be more profitable? How can we be in a better spot?
Every school in every conference is having. We're going to talk about Utah's budget here in a minute, but wind the clocks back.
Yeah. Like,
why did USC and UCLA make that faithful decision?
Let's wind the clocks back a year
or 5. Why did USC and UCLA leave the Pac-12?
Right.
Which I'm going to say again, there's no reason that the old Pac-12 does not exist, other than the reason that USC and UCLA ultimately left that conference.
Yeah.
Because of poor leadership.
And again, and I think it's really crucial to point this out in today's conversation, because it's a great point. How did that go down? Hey, I'm going to tell you one thing, and then I'm going to go and do another thing, which is
behind
exactly
your back
what
without
happened.
Anybody knowing it.
Yeah.
So you didn't have, And this was the Larry Scott, George Kliavkoff problem. They didn't have relationships across the conference. Why can Gloria Navarez so confidently say that she and UNLV are under contract? Because she's got relationships on that campus with those people, on every campus. And listen, I will just go back. I don't blame USC and UCLA for leaving the conference. And most people are going to tell you that they destroyed the Pac-12. Larry Scott destroyed the Pac-12. George Kliavkoff destroyed the Pac-12. The idiot radio wizard jerk-off in the Northwest facilitating Larry Scott and facilitating lies and back-of-the-envelope calculation BS burned down the Pac-12.
Facts.
The media that deep-throated everything that came out of George Kliavkoff burned down the Pac-12. Those are the people you hold accountable with their graphics and their BS. Those are the people that burned down the Pac-12. The truth sayers, the people who were calling George Kliavkoff's BS when he was saying that $50 million a year is what each school is worth, you're out your goddamn mind.
Facts.
This conference was never worth $50 million per school. Does that mean it sucked? No. Does that mean that it was a terrible conference? No. It means you have done business poorly from the minute that you launched that conference, and it continues today with Teresa Gould.
And the sad part is now with because yesterday on the show, for those of you who weren't here, the story with ESPN, accepting their option to extend with the ACC happened. So when that happened, and then having this conversation today, I'm sitting here thinking like, gosh, you had such an opportunity 4 years ago with ESPN and everybody in the landscape to position yourself right above the ACC. If you had just said, hey, the ACC is getting whatever they're getting, 25 mil a year, I think it is, or whatever the number is. Hey, we'll take 30. Give us 30 a school, and we're good to go. Like,
give us.
It's incredible.
Give us $350, $400 million a year in media rights deal. And ESPN, I think ESPN had just had enough with George Kliavkoff. And we reported exclusively on the show, and it's been confirmed a million times. Go look at it.
Yep.
They capped it at $100 million a year because of the obscene. Do you guys understand that there were reports about the offers being exchanged between the Pac-12 and ESPN? And they were hundreds of millions of dollars apart.
Yeah.
Like just ridiculous, embarrassing, obscene numbers. To the point where ESPN was like,
and I think
what are we going to do with this?
Like, imagine George Kliavkoff and, I don't know, Jimmy Pitaro at ESPN. On the phone. And George is like, yeah, we want $500 million, right? 50 a school. And Jimmy's sitting there as the guy who talks to conferences all day long, talks to different sports leagues. Like, he's the guy that has this conversation over and over and over.
Do you understand that Bob Iger was personally involved in that situation?
Right. So Bob Iger, Jimmy, like all these guys who do this for a living are sitting here listening to this yapping dog known as George Kliavkoff say these ridiculous numbers, and they damn well know it's probably only worth 35 at the top end. And so it puts people in a position, and this is my point about the Pac-12 and the bigger picture. It puts people in a position to not only disagree with you, but to think lesser of you. If you go to a negotiating table and you're miles away from where you should be, you're not going to be respected. There's something to like, hey, if George knows that, the conference is probably worth $350 a year, 35 a school, but he asked for 40 and then they kind of settled like 37.5 or whatever, that's a respectable negotiation. That's a fine starting place.
You can't go to your TV partners, because ultimately, as again, and I only say this to tell you, I feel like we have been nails on this. Who told you that Fox and ESPN were out?
Mm-hmm.
We did. And you go find me the report that says that Fox and ESPN are talking to the Pac-12. today, right now. Because I'm telling you, they're not.
Yeah.
And I understand that Pac-12 fan believes that. I'm telling you,
Well, and look at what Fox
they're
just
not.
did, right? Fox just did the live deal, right? Like Fox is doing deals.
But they're not. I'm telling you. It goes back to the idea of, hey, we're because I was told at one point the maximum offer ESPN ever tabled was $30 million a year per $300 million.
Yeah.
The counter was $500 million. Imagine going to your TV partner who you were partners with and saying, we're going to need 20 million more per school. We're going to need $200 million more a year.
It's crazy. Imagine, let me put it this way. So with that being said, imagine you went to a conference to form a partnership and you two-faced them. At the front end of the negotiation, you said, no, we're not going to poach your schools. But then on the back end of that negotiation, you poached all their best brands. What do you think is like? Did you think that was going to help you get a TV deal done?
No, I want people to go back and think, but ESPN wanted to do business with you.
Yeah, and now that's all over with.
They wanted Pac-12 After Dark. They wanted that window. You pissed them off so much that they went back to Sports Center instead of your games. Which, and in my opinion, you know who really benefited from that? The Big 12.
Yeah.
The Big 12 got a TV deal that secured the future of the conference. And you know who else benefited from that? BYU. Because in my opinion, BYU doesn't get into the Big 12 without ESPN.
Yeah, which led to Utah getting into the Big 12 and Colorado getting into the Big 12. And
I
Arizona
wholeheartedly
schools.
agree.
Like, it was a snowball effect. So that's what I'm saying. Like, not to get too lost in the sauce of the history here, but when you look at it, it's kind of hard to ignore, hey, like your idiotic negotiations to try to save the conference initially. I see the same stripes, here in this negotiation, which is why I say, with all due respect, anybody saying that UNLV is just going to up and leave the Mountain West for what this Pac-12 conference is offering, I just wholeheartedly disagree, mainly because I just don't think there's any future there.
And the last thing I want to say, I had a long talk with a well-known San Diego State alum. And San Diego State alumni are as unhappy, restless as they have ever been. And I think reality is setting in at San Diego State. Because I reached out to this particular person because I said, hey, I'm looking at these population numbers. What is this doing to San Diego State as a university, as a business entity that works to educate people? And it's a really good point. It's decimating the UC system.
People
it's
leaving
decimating.
the state?
Yes. The population numbers like UC San Diego State, like it's decimating. Southern California is not San Diego.
Right.
When you say SoCal, that's LA and Orange County. San Diego is its own little thing, and they are struggling. It is expensive. It's a tough way of life right now.
Yeah.
And I think San Diego, specifically San Diego State alums, are really restless and really angry, and I think really understanding that you're looking at your future and it's not bright.
Yeah.
It's San Diego State, and I would say the same thing about Fresno State. That dimming light is terrifying because you don't know what the future holds. If you're UC Berkeley, Stanford, if you're UCLA, USC, dude, you're fine.
Yeah.
You're fine.
Yeah.
You're always going to be fine.
Stanford's more than fine. They're getting paid.
You're more than fine. You look at Mick Cronin. Did you guys see Mick Cronin? I know I said this yesterday too, but Mick Cronin, the basketball coach at UCLA, talking about the arrogance of the Big Ten because the heavyweights in the Big Ten are bitching about having to come to Los Angeles one time a year in the winter when it's 70 degrees and sunny. And Mick Cronin's got to take his boys back east 4 times a year. And you're telling me that Memphis is going to do that?
No, hell no.
You're telling me that USF is going to do that? Tulane's going to do that? 4 times a year, you got to go fly to LA. And I'm sorry. It's not LA. You got to fly to Corvallis, Oregon. You got to fly to the Palouse. You got to go to Fresno. You got to go to, you're out of your mind, man. They're not going to do that. And why would you? Why would you?
Yeah.
All right. Enough of us, more of you. Yes, I am incredibly passionate about this.
Hey, you should be. I think it's, I do think it's one of the saddest stories in college football.
We should not be here.
Yeah.
The Pac-12 in its last year of existence, in my opinion, was arguably the second best football conference in the country.
Yeah.
And you just vaporized that because you wanted $50 million a year and you wouldn't take streaming.
Pride.
Even at the end of the day, when you weren't going to get a linear deal, they by some people's opinions had $35 to $40 million per school. And the bulk of it was in streaming. And most of those folks are old heads and were like, yeah, I don't think so. It never should have happened. All right. The comments section is, as always, presented by our friends at Prize Picks. Prize Picks, the best daily fantasy app in the business. You know, I don't know how I do it. I do. I'm brilliant. Just ask, Pac-12 fan. Pac-12 fan. I'm download the Prize Picks app. Use the promo code Monty. You'll open up a new Prize Picks account. And my phone is absolutely melting down right now. Open up a new Prize Picks account. Use the promo code Monty to do that. You deposit $5. They'll give you $50 more dollars instantly. It is the single best daily fantasy app. My phone.
What's going on?
It's just, it just won't operate. I have a brand new iPhone and it won't operate. Thanks a lot, Elon. It's not.
Do it in the next hour.
Yeah. All right, here we go. Let's look at my domination on Prize Picks last night. Thank you, LaDad. I would like to thank LaDad. Hey, Dad. Last night, my guy, LeBron James, on a 34.5 point number, comes through with 24, 11, and 3. That'd be 24 points, 11 dimes, and 3 rebounds. My guy.
This man was a bona fide scrub.
And then my guy, Austin Reeves, 15.5 points, more or less. More, 17. Do you see when you flex play on Prize Picks? And I need to look at I need to look at the final. Let me get the ESPN app open. The final number on Evan Mobley last night. Pimp's going pimp. Evan Mobley last night. Points, rebounds, and assists, 23.5. Stealing money. More, 16 points, 10 boards, 4 dimes. That's a 30, friends. Stealing money, 3 for 3. It's your boy banked $70 last night. And again, I will tell you, Patrick Mahomes is a free play in the Super Bowl. Never been a better time. If you've been thinking about it, if you've been on the fence, do I want a Prize Pick with old Uncle Marty? Yes, you do. Because Patrick Mahomes, you're a winner in the Super Bowl. As simple as that. Download the Prize Picks app. Use the promo code Monty to open up a new account. You deposit $5. They'll give you 50 more instantly. Go play a flex play, unless you live in Arizona. Go play a flex play with Patrick Mahomes and 2 other picks in the Super Bowl. Boom, you win. That means you only have to win one of those 2 because Mahomes is a yes. Take 2 more. Yes. And you're good to go. Take a Saquon Barkley touchdown and you will win. I'm here for you. Don't take Jake's advice. He's terrible at Prize Picks.
Because shit's going good.
How is Devin Booker not an all-star?
Yeah, that's pretty shocking.
I'm going to lose my mind over that. All right, let's rock and roll. First one in this morning, our great Floridian Maury Alvarez. Jake was dubbed Two Holes. Yes,
Okay.
Jakey Two Holes.
Right.
This guy, and it's
Right.
Hey, Two Holes.
I hereby propose that henceforth,
Okay.
that
Such
means
as
that
in like?
means going backwards.
Such as in like?
And forever, we change Jera Jones's name to Glory Holes.
Smiles and glory holes.
I had a Dallas Cowboy fan lose his mind in my TikTok DMs. You guys know that's not a sex reference. It's an oil reference, but you're too stupid. We know it's an oil reference.
Smiles and glory holes.
But that's not as funny as Jerry Jones walking into
Bro.
a seedy bar in Fort Worth and finding a glory hole in the bathroom.
Bro, how many people know that glory hole is an oil reference? Or I'm sorry, oil reference.
Oh, he's
Yeah.
an old man.
Yeah, he's an oil man.
Because this cat, I think his name was Kenny, was
Kenny.
just going on and on. Jerry's an old man. He's a business tycoon. Every owner in the NFL goes through a tough stretch. Bro, a tough stretch
It's
does
been
not.
30 years, dog. What you mean a tough stretch?
It's not decades long. Even my shitty Bears have been to the
Holy
Super
crap, bro.
Bowl. Accidentally, you go to the Super Bowl. Unless you hire
Dude.
Brian Schottenheimer.
Jera's been too busy going to the glory hole in the back office to win Super Bowls, dude.
He said every NFL owner goes through
Oh
a
my
tough
God.
stretch.
I'm a vampire feeding off mass disappointment.
Holy crap,
And
dude.
yes, for the record, a glory hole is what they call when you put a drill in the ground and you get that big and it explodes and it's squirting everywhere. And
Bruh.
Maury, good to see you. Hope the kids are well. Hope the kids are well. Who is the first one in today? Let's go all the way back to the top. Wow, you guys are amazing. We have a lot of comments.
A lot.
A lot. Real
A lot.
Pete Forte, hello. Steely, good morning to you. Jay McClenahan, good morning to you. Jay Chapman, sometimes not. The Big Ten is taking private equity bids. Yeah, I know we've talked about that on the show.
Yeah.
Dana, hello, Dana. They need to merge. Yes, they do. Welcome to the nightmare. Hello. Morning, guys. Hello. Harry Austin is back. Hello, Harry. Victor Wembanyama is in the All-Star game as a reserve.
Stupid.
Should he have been a starter? How do you not have that guy as a starter?
I don't know.
Does De'Aaron Fox fix Victor Wembanyama? Because there's some people who think Victor Wembanyama is getting a little too big for his britches.
Like,
He's getting an ego about himself.
I'm sure he is. Yeah, I'm sure he is.
I don't think De'Aaron Fox is a great fit. I know on paper it's like,
Thanks
oh
for
my
the playoff
God.
team.
Does it? Did he
Yeah.
make him a playoff team in Sacramento?
Yeah. He's a central part of what they did in Sacramento.
Yeah, which is not win very much.
Yeah.
Have they lost to the Warriors.
Yeah.
I mean, how are you like we'll have to get into that De'Aaron Fox thing when he gets traded. Harry, good to see you. The exclusive is UTSA is heading to the SEC. There you go. Still one of the forgotten properties in all of college football expansion, UTSA. But, what do I know, right? Gig Addy, good morning. Harry Austin just merged the Pac-12 and the Mountain West. It's what's best for all.
But they won't do that. Why would you do the logical thing?
If we could always do the logical thing, the world would be a much better place.
Yeah, but we don't do that. That's not,
money talks and BS walks. At some point, Eagles will hopefully be set aside. There you go. Totally agree. Look at Harry on a roll today. Can we say Pac-2 since the Pac-12, that conference is dead? Could be right. Probably should. Matt Ritson, Pac-12 and Mountain West should merge. Add St. Mary's for basketball. St. Mary's is an amazing basketball program.
Yeah.
Would Gonzaga allow that to happen?
Gonzaga.
I'm curious.
Gonzaga.
Joseph Lindley, hello. Would a merger affect some of the newly added Mountain West teams, specifically NIU, still being added? You signed a contract, so you'd have to work that out.
I don't think it affects them, though.
I don't either, because they have terrible leadership. Pac-2 does. I agree with that. Sergeant Crean. Don't forget lawyers' fees, dude. The lawyers always win.
What was the comment yesterday? Billable hours are undefeated.
Undefeated. That's exactly right. I mean, you look at the money that the Pac-2 on its own has spent on legal fees at this point. mean, it's ridiculous. Ridiculous. Hello, Big Papa War Machine. Happy Friday. Boise fan, Joseph says, oh, you are. Boise's very interesting. Did Boise jump too soon?
Yes. Yes, they did. In my opinion.
It's an interesting question.
In my opinion, they did. Because what did they do? They saw the opportunity and they jumped all over it as if it was some, like, this is my point. At some point, I hope it comes out as to what the Pac-12 was promising people. Like, at some point, that needs to come out.
It was money.
I guess.
It was money. Very interesting point, by the way. I love that you guys DM me during the show.
Did you know that we have a comment section on this show? Were you aware of that? Like, I don't,
TikTok, I'm going to turn off my TikTok notifications. I said 10 minutes ago, TikTok, and 2 of you hyenas have DM'd me on TikTok. I'm not going to read your...
That's the bottom line.
You're watching the show. Come to YouTube. Hit the like button on YouTube. Subscribe, because you can't comment unless you're subscribed. Subscribe to the channel. Hit the like button. I'm happy to read your comment. Such as in, like, Jay Chapman. Pac-12 is doing the Mountain West dirty. Totally agree. Except Jake. Jake's always dirty, though.
Right.
That's what you meant, right? Like, I think that such as in, like, let's see. JC is back this morning. Hello, JC. I appreciate you. Fresno sucks. No, it doesn't. I'm kidding.
Dude.
I'm kidding.
Dude.
JC, it's a joke.
Bro.
Relax.
It's not the best situation, and we all know that.
It just bring the zen. Relax. Bring the zen. The people at fault are the ADs of the 5 former Mountain West schools. Their greed allowed themselves to be in the financial lies. Why do you guys, in the comments section, do you believe that it was a mistake for Boise to leave the Mountain West?
Do you believe?
Especially, and I know this has been a talking point in these circles, you just went to the college football playoff. How are you better off in the Pac-2? You're welcome. How are you better off in the Pac-2 than you are in the Mountain West? And what argument are you making? Specific to the Smurf turf, what argument are you making? More access? Apparently not. More money? Yet to be determined. But it doesn't look like that. Like, and I'm with you. It had to be, oh, we're going to get you $10 million a year.
That's the untrained eye.
Right? Because how much money how much money do you think they offer? $200 million and $10 million a year? Like, what was the funny? I'm curious.
Yeah.
Because you're not better off today. And Pac-12 fan is probably, you're pissing yourself. I get it. Relax. Today, you're not better off. Not before we have a TV deal. Not before we know what the adjudication of these lawsuits are. You're certainly not better off today than you were the last day you were before you announced this.
Yeah.
And then you went to the college football playoff. And it just feels to me, like they jumped way too early.
So you better check yourself.
Harry Austin. Think about the travel from Greenland University to Alaskan University, Battle of the North Pole.
Yeah, wow.
Well, but we own Greenland now, and we all know that they don't play on the North Pole. They play in the Gulf of America.
Right.
So,
yeah,
Wasikowskinator, more G5 talk. Well, hey, when you have the exclusive and you got people, you got the ear of some people in good positions, yeah, we're gonna break news. Yeah. Absolutely. Xavier Wolf, hello. SMU picks up a 5-star lineman.
Wow, that's great, man.
That's neat. Look at that. Conference Commissioner Gumby, Tupac. That's exactly right.
Right.
Gumby, good to see you. Smash the numbers. Ferris Khan. Carlsbad. San Diego has beaches, fish tacos, golf, and tennis. Why would we also want a socialism for billionaires? I think San Diego State's in an incredibly difficult position. The pro rata you deserve, you're in a very difficult position. And again, I'm just going to ask San Diego State fan, did you jump too soon? Was this incredible
Stay hard.
that you had for the Pac-12 brand? Did it blind you? Because is San Diego State better off today than they were before they left for the Pac-12?
No, hell no. It's not even close.
I would agree with that. Welcome to the nightmare. Yes, Boise shouldn't have left, especially with no TV deal, not enough members. They jumped into a conference that wasn't solidified. Totally agree.
I mean, all you've done here legitimately is picked up legal fees. That's it. Like,
yep. Joseph Lindley, without a full group going with them, that made a complete conference. It wasn't well advised. No, it wasn't. JC for $2. I have nothing but love for you guys. Then why only $2?
yeah, shouldn't it be like $10? Actually, shouldn't it be $50?
You're a Fresno fan. Oh, that's right. You can't afford it.
Ain't no
Anyway,
reset.
Damn.
Appreciate the $2. It's all love, JC.
I think he did. I think I saw a comment while we were talking a few minutes ago. He did actually apologize for his.
Well, I don't think he did anything wrong. I love that you're so passionate.
Yeah.
I love it. Mike Smith. Well, Big 12 would not add so they had to do what they thought was the next best option. That's a great point.
Okay, well, if they thought the Pac-12 was the next best option, that's not a very good decision.
I feel terrible for Oregon State. They did it all the right way and just never had a chance. Nothing about ACC and ESPN. We talked about that at length yesterday.
And what really is there to talk about? Honestly.
Well, again, I told you so Thursday. I'm happy to do I told you so Friday. When do we get our flowers?
Yeah.
When do people jump on board with the fact, again, with the ACC lawsuits, ESPN, have we put even a fingernail wrong on that?
No.
And I know we have Trust Me Bro as our main source.
Right.
So wait a minute. In the parlance of Wasikowskinator, we were exactly right about Ryan Day's private investigator brother and the fact you scumbags cheated. Like you know. We were right about Jimmy buying cheeseburgers.
Hey, Jimmy.
Remember, because everybody said no level 1 violations.
Got to be America's team.
And I think we've been exactly right about ESPN. We told you they were pulling out.
Macaque.
Different kind of pulling out. We told you that they were no longer going to be the Pac-12's partner. That happened. We told you there was no misgivings or fraud in the ACC ESPN contract. That happened. We told you they were going to exercise that option because, again, what I can continue to tell people is there's not an unending, pot of gold at ESPN where they're just going to overpay for everything. Why would they? They have a sweetheart deal with the ACC that every school signed and agreed to not once but twice. Come on, man. I want my flowers.
Cough it up.
I want it. Big Papa War Machine. I feel like Boise's turf is assaulting me at all times. It is. That's my beef. It is. Common sense. Lovely suit. I don't care anything about San Diego after their dumb residents didn't build the Charger Stadium and lost the team. But why? Dude, not one single San Diegan wanted to be in business with the Spanos family.
Yeah.
Not one. JC says a great way to start my day. Well, nope, not doing it. Just let us all go, all the blue states, and call yourself Jesus land. Tired of California propping up red states with our tax dollars. Okay, different show.
What the hell does that even have to do with anything?
RF. He spent all his money on meth. Just kidding, Fresno guy. Wow. Wow.
Damn.
The awkward guy. Big 12 and Pac-12 should have merged and called it the Big Pac,
Yeah, the
Could have
big
done
package.
that. The Mountain Pack.
Yeah.
JC, you know how many weeds I have to hoe to send you a paid comment? There you go. And you out there, JC, you out there hoeing.
Yeah.
Hoeing.
Yeah.
ACC Commissioner Gummy. Guys.
Nice.
I heard from Joe Rando's Super Ultimate Mom's Basement Pod Show
U.S. Americans
that FSU was going to announce their departure in July of 2024.
Well, you know, and hold on. Did the Pac-12 ever get the $600 million that they were
the
due?
windfall.
The windfall?
The windfall.
You know,
from whatever Wolf Pod Big 12 knows
This is
everything.
fucking America.
Come on.
Do you know how you probably do? And Mike Smith is probably tired of this, but do you know how much fun it is to always be right?
Like, for instance,
the best part about it is people are like, you don't have sources, bro. Okay. How do you know that?
We did.
Name your sources. Dude, I've been doing this for 30 years. I'm 52. Radio and broadcasting is the only business I've ever known.
Come on, man.
Do you know how many people I've met? Do you know, like when we had the Brooklyn Nets situation, the Kyrie Irving trade, people are like, you don't know shit, Monty. Broke the Kyrie Irving situation, right?
they texted.
I've known the guy that told me that for, decades. Just when you know in that guy and they're in the right spot. And we sat when all the Pac-12 was melting down.
Yeah.
It was amazing. Like literally our source at the University of Utah called us during the show.
That was one of the most incredible on-air moments during the show.
And we come back and we're like, hey, breaking news, Utah has officially signed and transmitted their contract to join the Big 12. Everybody else had it first. And like nobody had it.
Yeah.
And then ding, 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 ding. Like it was like we beat Thamel, we beat everybody. Like we said it on the show, and like 10 minutes, 30 minutes, an hour later, everybody, all the insiders started tweeting it.
Let's ride.
And it's like, dude, do you know how long my source at Utah? Do you know how long I've known that cat? I mean, years. But it's little Jimmy and his Locked On podcast who've been doing it for 10 minutes. And they don't know anybody.
Yeah, and that's why mistakes are made.
And
That's
then
why
they're
things
like,
are said
oh,
that are not true.
Like all the guys in the Pac-12, we're never leaving this conference. Do you know how many athletic directors? We used to sit in our studio before the show.
Yeah.
When we were in the office tower. We used to sit in our studio and just DM and text and call and talk to. Like,
Do you know how many of these dudes called us from blocked numbers? We had a running joke behind the scenes between us at one point of the over-under on blocked calls coming in every day. Like, I think at one point the over-under had grown to 6.
It was amazing.
Yeah.
It was, and it's just not.
I'm just telling you, man, we don't say stuff just to say it. Like,
yeah. Mike Smith.
Hey, Mike.
The ACC smells like a hobo's ass.
Wow.
Hugh Janus.
A hobo's ass. Mike,
Mike.
for nothing. Not for nothing. How do you know what a hobo's ass smells like?
Hot ass.
You got some flavor saving going on in that beard we need to know about, boy?
Smiles and glory holes.
Let's move on, Mike. David Persons for $5. Reflecting on the long gone debate, who won the Boise TCU BCS Buster rivalry? Well, that would be Utah. It's pretty clear TCU won, and now Boise only has a Mountain West or Pac-12 to choose from. And the Mountain West is not a bad choice. Good to see you, David. Harry Austin, a member of the show for 18 months. Monty, you're a Bears fan, so you are not always right. Well, it's a very good point.
Do you know what that's like these days?
More to the fact I'm a Cubs fan and a Bulls fan and a Notre Dame fan. Yeah, who likes being right about Notre Dame? By the way, Mike Smith, a member of the show for 18 months. See, you did the whole hobo's ass thing.
Kind of threw you off your game a little bit.
You guys are amazing. Thank you for joining the membership. We really appreciate it. Welcome to the nightmare. If you've been watching the show for any amount of time, you would know we find out things months before news breaks.
Just saying.
And I'm not even, it's not even like I've done some incredible job mining new content. When you're in the business, you're in the business. And
It's internal.
When it's internal and you value relationships, you know, just saying. Let's see. He ain't wrong. Okay. Top 10 poorest states are red states. Okay.
Oh God, here we go.
Come on, man.
Here we
Come
go.
on. See, Ferris, this is what you do.
Like,
you dirty Michigan fan. This is what you do.
It's actually not that easy, but for me, it was easy.
Oh, Lord. It's hard to be humble when you're perfect in every way.
well, you know,
I would know.
So I said, yeah.
Takes one to know one. I don't know. Tater gonna tater. Okay, tater gonna tate. Okay. Okay. Big Papa War Machine.
Stay hard.
Ask that guy if we're doing Mormon Jesus, Southern Baptist Jesus, or denominational Jesus. Okay.
It vexes me.
The awkward guy. How many guys has Monty stroked to get these scoops? You got to start stroking dudes.
yeah, I mean, you know,
You
You
got
gotta
to
get stroked.
You got to get stroked.
yeah.
Honestly, I'd start stroking guys.
You know. Technically, it's haters gonna hate, shake it off. Okay. Patak, George Pataki. Patak had some stuff before others.
Who is Patak?
I don't know who that is.
I don't know who that is. Yeah.
Xavier Wolf, we don't deserve Monty. You don't. Your wife does. You don't. This man
What
is serving
about
the
me?
community.
What about me? I don't have any. I don't get any love, dude.
Dude, that guy the
Like-
other day was all in. He was like, that
Dude
guy loved you.
Dude was going to Pound Town in the comment section.
There was a guy who wanted to DEI Jake. And I mean,
We show up.
I'm so going to hell. Thankfully, it's not real. And
I don't
donuts.
regret those decisions.
What's up, my guy? God, donuts sound so good. The media treats the Mountain West as an also-ran. They do.
Mhm.
They do. I agree. You know. Monty wakes up and pisses excellence. Jake wakes up and farts.
Dude, it's not even a question that happens, dude, at all, even a little bit. It is what it is.
JC, California was a red state and things were great. Then Reagan became president.
Why, bro?
Why are we doing
Why
that?
are we doing this, man?
This is why we can't have nice things. We can't.
Just take it nice and easy, okay? Just relax.
Big Papa War Machine. People like Jake.
well,
No.
it's questionable.
No.
I mean, honestly, it's questionable.
Harry, whoa. Xavier Wolf. People got their little feelings hurt, apparently. Harry Austin. Come on, Jake. You're just riding the coattails. Well,
I'm still a human.
no, you're not. Human or non-human? Non-human. He has no feelings. That's why he's got so much butter for all the toast.
Biologics.
Exactly. Come on. Eric Wasakowski. Oh, knew you couldn't resist. Lots of liberal tears this morning. David Shaw, Casey Rogers to Detroit as well. David Shaw's a huge hire.
Yeah.
Huge hire. Robert Howard. Damn politics. WTF. Dude, it's not my fault
Hey,
this
don't
time.
put this
I
on
didn't
us,
I
dude.
didn't done do that,
Go
man.
take Ferris to the woodshed because we didn't bring up politics
Nah,
today.
goddamn libtards.
Yeah, I mean, come on, dude.
Let's wind the clocks back a
Yeah,
year.
go back up in the comments section, dude. This is not on us, bro. This is not on us, bro.
sifted through all that.
I woke up this morning and there was a libtard dead on my sidewalk, and then I got to clean it up, and he leaves a stain.
Human or non-human?
That came right off the top of my head. Jake is a man sound drop. Okay. I'm a man. I'm 40. Well,
Right, yeah.
You know.
I'm a man.
Jake seems like a migraine man. Margarine man? I said migraine.
What is that even? See, this is my point. What is this?
I'm my
mean?
head out. Jake's a margarine man. Disrespect intended.
What-
Because you said because you have the infamous enough butter for all the toast.
Oh, right.
Margarine.
Got it. Margarine. Yes.
Mike Chase. Jake's a great guy. No, he's not.
Well,
no, he's not.
you know.
You know, Mike, hope the family's well. Jake's not 40 though. He's not. He's
No.
15.
That's
He isn't a. So when we were flipping houses and doing real estate, one of our investors, we had a meeting. You knew this meeting was effed when the guy's like, meet me at the McDonald's.
Why don't you fuck off?
So I pull up in my BMW. He pulls up in his Cadillac, right?
Right.
We're in the McDonald's and this guy's like, shut up, Jake. You don't talk until you're 25.
Y'all reading all this cap ass shit.
All right, bro. All right, man. You keep ordering those Big Macs.
Hey, let me know how that parole's working.
Yeah.
Out. Literally crazy. Jeremiah champion. Both parties act like children. Today is a weird show comment-wise. It really is.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I guess this all started with Ferris. He brought up the politics, apparently.
Yeah, this is all Ferris's fault.
Yeah.
Michigan sucks. Jimmy was okay. So you guys know, and I thought everybody was aware of this. You guys understand that Jim Harbaugh didn't buy cheeseburgers for kids. You get that, right?
What?
Jim Harbaugh, the cheeseburger joke, the genesis of the cheeseburger joke. Do you guys know what that is? Jim Harbaugh walked into a restaurant where a recruit and his family were having breakfast. I believe with a Michigan staff.
Not cheeseburgers.
Not cheeseburgers. They were having like omelets and pancakes and shit.
Yeah. And toast with margarine.
Jim Harbaugh walked in and ordered a burger for breakfast. And the recruit thought it was so weird that when they were investigating, the NCAA was investigating the rules violation that constituted.
Yeah.
The recruit was like, oh, yeah, I remember it like it was yesterday. That jackass ordered a cheeseburger for breakfast.
This is a tasty burger.
That's where the Jim Harbaugh, and so Michigan fan after Michigan fan after Michigan fan is in the comments section here on YouTube if you go and look at our other videos. You know he didn't buy anybody a cheeseburger. You're too stupid to know that. We know it's a joke. It's called sarcasm.
Monty, a glory
humor.
hole is an oil reference, sir.
It's called we're having fun with it.
Yummy, yummy, yummy.
The kid, we joke all the time. Well, Monty, they were just hungry kids. They weren't poor even.
He was serving the community. They were out in the rain. He bought them burgers and fries with ranch, not blue cheese. And, that's just what it was.
Like, it is so funny to me that Michigan fan is such a red ass about the Harbaugh level 1 stuff that they're like, goddamn well he didn't buy them.
I'm giving you a fucking answer.
I know.
You don't always have to be negative.
Well, all of us that are on the side of, the truth and common sense can joke about it. You can't because you cheated your way to a championship.
100%.
It's just that you guys are such red asses about stuff. Like San Diego State fan or Pac-12 guy who sends me graphics and it's like, this conference isn't going anywhere. Hey, the conference folded today. Shut up, Monty! Do you guys, the best part?
I love when we get dude who's like he has that reaction and then he compounds it by saying, I'm unsubscribing. This show sucks.
Yeah, okay.
And then they show up like a month later and they're like, hey guys,
sorry about that.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, I'm not talking about that.
Much like Jerry Jones, I was just going through a tough stretch.
Yeah, tough time 30 years
but
later.
I will say, like my guy Utah Pig Bus sent me a DM the day that Utah left because he had been, you're lying, you don't know anybody, you're not talking to anybody. And then it turned out we were exactly right. And he's like, yeah, dude, my bad. And I can't remember who the guy was, the graphic guy on Twitter, the guy that was always like,
oh, yeah. I know who you're talking about. Yeah.
Was like, hey, good job on the Pac-12 stuff. Come on, man.
What else are people saying?
It's just so
what else
funny.
we got here?
Methine. Okay. I don't know what that means. Harry Austin. So everyone wants to know, what is Monty's pick for the Utah Hockey Club since Monty is picking the name?
Well, I mean, now that they had to change all the name options again, like
how bad is so again, here's a perfect example. Utah sport fan declaring victory 4 months into their existence because they're sold out. And then yesterday, in what I think is amazing, you look at the Utah Hockey Club and their whatever this name selection thing is, they tweeted yesterday, hey, Utah hockey fans, we listened to your feedback and dug into all the Qualtrics data.
Because again, why did they say that portion right there? Because all the voting has to happen at the DC now. I mean, the Delta Center. My bad.
And Ryan Smith is the founder of Qualtrics. From the team name, it's clear that Outlaws should be in the mix instead of Wasatch, so we're swapping it out.
So you mean Outlaws was a write-in vote?
The survey will continue Friday, Sunday, and Tuesday for you to vote on the options Utah Mammoth, Utah Hockey Club, and Utah Outlaws. Excited to see the votes roll in. So wait, are you telling me, much like you forgot to make purple Jazz uniforms, are you telling me that you screwed up this name rollout? Well, yeah, of course you did, because you never checked about being able to copyright Utah Yetis. Because the cooler company has the name Yetis. And what's interesting about that is nobody even going to talk about the fact that it was going to be Utah Yetis all along. So why did we need a Qualtrics survey? Is anybody going to, do you really believe that whatever you vote for is going to get the nod?
No.
They're going to pick what they want to pick, regardless of what you vote for. So,
because once again, it's not out in the public what the results are.
And we're sheep on this show, as we're always
sheep.
told.
Yeah.
Hey, you guys keep going to those games because, you know, they just do business so incredibly well.
Mm-hmm.
Has anybody looked? I mean, I know that we've declared victory here in Utah, and hockey is an unbelievable success. Well, it's a success because, again, sheep, you guys are going to the games and buying tickets, supporting a billionaire who's taking billions of your tax dollars in a handout. Anybody want to check the standings of this unequivocal, without question success? You probably should, because they're first in the Western Conference, right? They're winning the West. They're going to win the Stanley Cup this year, right? Well, actually, no, they're not, because don't you have to make the playoffs to win the Stanley Cup?
Not sure. Maybe we should do a Qualtrics survey on that.
Yeah, how does that? Don't you have to be in the Stanley Cup playoffs to? The Utah Hockey Club currently sits 7 points out of a playoff spot with 30 games to go.
Good luck, bro. You understand how hard it is to make up 7 points?
And they've lost 3 games in a row. But unbelievable success. Come on. My guess, if it was me, I would leave it as the Utah Hockey Club. I think it will be the Mammoth. I think that's what it will be. That's it. The Utah Tax-Funded Club. And it's ridiculous to me. It's ridiculous to me.
Yep.
That here we sit, and and for those of you who are new to the show, Ryan Smith, the owner of the Utah Jazz and the Utah Hockey Club, a billionaire, without a public vote, was given $1 billion tax benefit to rebuild downtown with no oversight. And then promptly screwed up the purple jerseys and like everything that's wrong with ownership outside of glory holes. Ryan Smith has accomplished that.
Smiles and glory holes.
He told every Utah Jazz, we're going to win. We're going to do everything we can. Spend no dollar, no stone unturned. They haven't won dick. He has not spent money on the Jazz.
And they are bad.
He has not invested in the payroll. Nothing. Traded Rudy Gobert's contract. Traded Donovan Mitchell's contract.
Like, they're so bad that they've now turned the marketing into we're tanking for Cooper Flag, I guess. Like, you're not trying to win, and that's okay in the NBA. There's some strategy there. But I feel like you're only not trying to win because he doesn't want to spend money.
And he's making money hand over fist because you're buying his tickets, you're buying his sweaters, and you're buying his jerseys. And no public vote. If you're a billionaire, why do you need $1 billion handout? Did they need $1 billion handout to build the Intuit Dome in Los Angeles? No, he paid for it on his own, Steve Ballmer did. You're a billionaire. Get some bros together, sell minority shares in your club, and build a new stadium. Oh, but we'll leave downtown. No, you won't. You won't leave downtown. Oh, that's right. You threatened that, so they gave you $1 billion handout. So you don't have to pay for any of your expansion on your own. It's wild to me.
Yeah.
Wild to me. Taxation without representation? No, we would never do that. This is a blue state. This is a red state. This is conservatives and no porn and shit. Can't look at pornography, but we can give rich guys more money. we can give paper billionaires your taxpayer money with no oversight and no public vote. That's what we do. The Utah Coyotes. Exactly right. Yeti thermoses shaped like coyotes. You know. Polar plunge sounds sexy. Utah polar plunge in town tonight to take on the Red Wings. Right? It's amazing to me. All right. Last one on this. Sergeant Green, the premise that owners listens to the fans is a lie. As a Cleveland fan, the Cleveland Guardians is named after a bridge. And what's going on with the Browns football stadium? How did that work out? Fans, we don't matter. I will continue to say that. Xavier Wolf, why watch porn when you can watch the Monty Show?
I mean, it's a legitimate question, dude. I mean, I don't know why people are so confused on this topic. You know, like
macaque.
You know,
yeah. I mean, the true entertainment value of the program is just unquestioned.
The Monty Show is presented as always by the advocates, the best injury attorneys in the business. Chat with an injury attorney 24/7, 365, and it won't cost you a dime. In 30 seconds, is the Utah Athletic Department actually a poverty program?
Dad?
Honey, what's wrong?
I got in an accident.
Are you okay?
I don't know.
Okay, did you call the police yet?
Yeah, I did.
I'm gonna call an advocate and you can tell us both at the same time, okay?
Hey, Sarah, your dad told me that you need help.
So, is there anything that I need to do? Or...
Just focus on getting better.
With an advocate on your side, you're never alone.
Today's the day. And look who I just met.
Hey, Dad.
You deserve a worry-free recovery. You deserve an advocate.
Hey, Dad. That is my favorite line out of that commercial. When he's delivering the check that the advocates won for this girl. That's how it works, man. The advocates are going to fight for you. Let the advocates fight your insurance company, because trust me, you're going to have to fight them to get what you deserve, because your insurance companies don't work for you. The advocates have navigated the insurance claim process thousands and thousands of times. They're experts at it. Give it to them. Let them give you clear, risk-free advice, because that's what you get when you go to the advocates. You can chat with an injury attorney live online 24/7, 365, and it won't cost you a dime at theadvocates.com. This is rough right here. The University of Utah lost big money in 2024, mainly on the destruction of the Pac-12, the repayment to Comcast, and a lack of funds distribution. The Utah Athletic Department is running at a negative $17 million deficit, and it is decimating. It is difficult to operate. The numbers are staggering. Now, nobody is pretending that Utah Athletics is going out of business. They are not. But the idea that you had record ticket sales, record donations, and you still ran at a deficit is unbelievable. Even on the heels of what we've talked about today with the Pac-12, it is unthinkable that Utah Athletics, which generates significant money through its football program, is running at a deficit. Jake, how damaging to the brand of the Big 12 do you think this is?
I mean, I think that, we've had a lot of conversations on the show about, schools in the Big 12 struggling financially. This is not the first time we've talked about this. And it's really, the timing of it is not great, obviously, on the heels of one of the worst football seasons you've had in quite some time. And obviously, this is last year's financial picture and the numbers we're getting now. But the momentum you have right now is not great. This is kind of what my point was about Ohio State several days ago. You won the national championship, and then all this negative press has come out. It's kind of the same idea here. You have a great year. you know, and you change conferences and all that happens. And then that first season is really rough. And I think that when athletic departments, you know, make or receive, you know, $29 million in donations, according to the document that was put out. And you're like he said, setting records for ticket sales, and like you're doing the things you need to do as an athletic department, but you're still $17 million upside down. That's the part that, you know, is really discouraging. And obviously, you know, there's a lot of things that, you know, play into this, right? Where you're looking at your P&L sheet as a university and you're $17 million in the wrong direction. Obviously, there's stuff that goes into that. The cost to change conferences. Obviously, the repayment to Comcast was always going to be a thing that you were just going to have to absorb. But looking forward, when we talk about how to move on from this as an athletic department, it doesn't help your confidence in that idea when you got to figure out the House settlement, you know, what you're going to have to contribute with that. And just moving forward, I do feel like there's a lot of unknowns financially for athletic departments. So I just think, I think that, you know, Utah athletics, like you said, it's not like they're going out of business or it's some terrible, like, you know, the sky is falling. But when I saw this, you know, the first thing that came to mind was, hey, you're $17 million upside down, and we haven't even gotten to revenue sharing yet through that athletic department. We haven't gotten to all the new stuff coming down the pipe. And that's where I say, hey, like, you know, when you talk about the Big 12 and schools making money, you damn well better improve that Utah men's basketball team. That has to happen soon.
And if you think about, well, UCLA, $52 million in the hole. Okay, get it. Ohio State, $37.7 million deficit.
Mm-hmm.
Michigan State, $16.7 million deficit. Missouri, $15.2 million deficit. Alabama, $28 million deficit. These are big foundational programs losing money on athletics. And I think it is a scary time. And you look at this Comcast overpayment, business as usual in the Pac-12, right? You look at, you know, these key indicators. Utah made just over $14.8 million in ticket sales between all sports, which is just shy of $2 million increase year over year. They made more money selling tickets, and still they're running at a deficit.
Yeah.
$8 million was owed to Comcast. The football program brought in $79 million in revenue and had just over $52 million in expenses, a $27 million profit in football, and you're still running at a deficit. That's the drag that the Pac-12 was, right? Men's basketball, $12.9 million in income, $10 million in expenses. That's a $2 million profit on basketball.
Not good enough, dude. That's
right?
Not good enough.
The football program reached a university record $92.5 million in 2023. A $40 million profit in 2023. Men's basketball in 2023, running at a $4 million profit, and yet you're still in the negative.
Yeah.
So all of that goodness in 2023 went to pay for 2024. And it's just remarkable that you are running at deficits, and you start looking at things like baseball, things like softball, volleyball, track, swimming, gymnastics, all of them running at a deficit, with the exception of volleyball was a plus for Utah. It's wild to me that you have all of this money coming in, and it's again a further indictment on how much money the exiting 10 members of the Pac-12 lost. They gave away rather than try to figure out a way to stay together. They gave away all that money to go to the Big 12 and the Big 10.
Yeah.
That's wild.
Yeah, I mean, I think that the decision to leave the Pac-12 and how that all went down was always going to be, I mean, there was always going to be a price to pay, especially when you had lost in court for, you know, getting your share leaving the conference. When that whole thing went down and you lost that, you know, obviously that didn't help your case, but it just goes to show that I think that universities and athletic departments are going to have to find a way to make more money. And I've been saying this for like 2 years now, 3 years. Like, dude, why do we not have a whole sales department for the athletic program? Why is there not? Like, why do we not have, like we're happy to employ dozens and dozens and dozens of people for medical departments and all these other, scholastic related, endeavors at the school. But the one thing that's costing you the most money, you're not putting enough effort into selling it. And that's the thing. Like, if Utah went out into the community and, try to do a ton of sales deals, try to get a bunch of sponsorship money in and, did a bunch of stuff, bro, they would be raking in cash. And that's where I say, like, I understand it's unconventional. It's not what, we've always done. We've not had to have a full sales department for an athletic, a full sales team for an athletic department.
I don't even think that's it. I mean, you can sell your ass off. If you are not willing to go and get private money and create a college football super league, this is the life you are choosing. If you are not willing to go out and bring in private equity, which I'm telling you, we've been telling you, the Big Ten and the SEC are going to figure that out. They are going to talk about it in their meetings in a couple of weeks. If you are not willing to do that on a conference level and at a university level, you're not trying to win.
But here's the thing. I agree with that. But at the school level, for Mark Harlan and company, what can they do right now to help the Big 12 get a super league? I mean, obviously they can be for it. They can argue for it. They can work to come up with solutions to try to get something done.
Yeah.
But I'm just telling you in the day-to-day, right? Like, the Super League right now is a concept that is being born, right? Like, it is being put together, but it's still in the initial phases. It's still being, the car is still on the assembly line at this point. Obviously it's not here yet. And so when we sit here next February looking at financials, is Utah going to be running at a deficit again in the athletic department? Are we still going to be sitting at 15, 17, 20 million worth of deficit? Or are they going to find a way to turn that around? And by the way, just want to point this out. All the greatness from the Cam Rising 2023 season.
Yeah.
You don't have that team here right now in the football program, right? So you want to talk about the football program making money? You understand, like, that was a Rose Bowl appearance. Like, you got extra money, more than you would have normally gotten for that season. So you're having to reinvent the football program right now. They're not making what was it? $29 million or whatever it was, and like
you're not netting that.
Yeah, you're not netting that.
No.
Like, that's not happening this year.
And I look at the most valuable football programs in the country. Look at the top 5 most valuable. Alabama, number 5, with a $978 million valuation. Michigan, Big Ten, $1.6 billion valuation. Texas A&M, $1.26 billion. Number 3. Number 2, Texas, University of Texas, $1.28 billion. Number 1, Ohio State, $1.32 billion valuation. Those are all Big Ten and SEC schools. So when everybody says, well, Marty, no, well, Marty's. The Big Ten and the SEC are going to bring in private equity.
$92 million for the football program for Utah in 2023.
Yeah.
And we're looking at this list, and there are $232 million. Don't tell me, with all due respect, don't tell me that there is not more money here to be made right now.
Look at the top 15. Here are the top 15. Wisconsin, $838 million. Florida, $865 million, all in the 100 millions. LSU, $916. USC, $923. Penn State, $924. Oklahoma, $928. Tennessee, $940. Nebraska, $943. Georgia, $950.
Like,
number 6, Notre Dame, $969. Oh, join a conference. I don't think so. Like, you look at, these are all Big Ten and SEC schools. And so when we talk about people like Utah losing money, folks, what do you really think that this is akin to a family in America? They own their house outright. They're broke. They're struggling financially to make money. Do you think they're going to take a mortgage on their home that they own outright and it's got $1 billion in equity in it? Yeah, I think they are. If you look at the Big Ten and the SEC, they're going to bring in private money and they're going to grow their brand. And I am telling you, that's the future of college sports. I have been told directly multiple times, every P4 university has had private equity conversations. Some embrace it, some do not. I know Utah embraces it.
Yeah, and it needs to be said too, just in fairness, because I don't want to hear a Utah fan coming in here crying about like what we said or what the reporting was or what we didn't say. It needs to be said that the athletic department on the whole for 2024 did set a revenue record. You know, for I think it was 126 million that y'all made in for the athletic department. So like you are moving in the right direction in total revenue, but that is a facade. When you look at the profitability, right? Total revenue is one number, but when you look at what you're actually making, it's not as pretty of a picture. And that's why I say, like, I'm not having this conversation from the standpoint of hating on Utah. What I'm saying is that at some point, these universities have to get aggressive and have to go on offense with making money. That's why I tell people in my life and personal conversations all the time. You can't live life on the defensive for 20 years at a time. Like, I understand we all go through things, you know, at certain points you're going to have to save and you're going to have to be a little bit more defensive with, you know, your spending as an example, or the things that you do to get through a period of time. But at some point you have to go on the offensive. You have to say, you know what, we're going to make up that $17 million gap. We're going to do X, Y, and Z and create a contingency plan here, because we know, like as an example with this Comcast payment, we know the Comcast payment's coming down the pipe, right? Like Utah knew about that 3 years ago. Like everybody knew about it. Like you knew when that came out, hey, the Pac-12 as a conference had been taking too many payments, right, from Comcast. You knew that, you were going to have to pay that back, but there's no plan here to account for that so you can still remain profitable. And that's a part of the conversation that I think needs to be talked about. At what point do schools in the Big 12 say, hey, you know what? Yeah, like we're not, like for Utah, just because we're talking about them. Hey, our men's basketball team is not good right now. They're not a tournament team. They're not going to be getting us extra shares, right? That's not happening. On the women's side, they're very good. They're going to be in the tournament. They're going to get us shares. So we know for a fact what, our revenue picture in athletics is going to look like. And we know we're short. So how do we cover that gap? And so that's why I say, like, I don't disagree. The Super League has to happen for people to thrive. It opens the floodgates, if you will, to making a lot more money. So you become profitable. But short of that, because that's largely out of your control, in my opinion, at Utah, you got to come up with more inventive ways to make money.
You have to, in my opinion, create a Super League, because teams are going to go out of business.
Yeah.
These are now business entities. And the fact that the University of Utah is losing money on athletics is unthinkable.
And you're already getting $30 million in donations.
And we can make up all kinds of excuses about Comcast and how much of this is NIL and how much of this. Think about what's changing. And I don't know what's going to happen with these house settlements, because every day there's a new lawsuit.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going to, I don't believe there's so many people. The other day, I'm calling sources about this Mountain West UNLV situation. Do you know that people in college athletics and administration are like, hey, by the way, Monty, you heard anything about the house settlement? Is that going to happen? Or people in college sports don't know if it's going to happen.
Yeah.
Because there's so much uncertainty, and they're already, I have talked to people who are already, we're going to opt in for this year and probably next year, but I don't think it's sustainable going forward.
Yeah.
Those are the conversations happening on campuses. And I don't mean small campuses. I'm not talking about small budgets. I'm talking about major P4 budgets. And they're like, yeah, it's not sustainable.
And to that point, just for what we were talking about earlier, when you talk about the Mountain West Pac-12 thing, imagine being Boise State. You jumped off the ship too soon. Not only do you not know how much revenue you're going to make from your conference in 2026, you have no idea what your TV revenue is going to be in 2026. And Ashton Jinsey just left for the NFL.
But I more point to UNLV. How much pressure is on UNLV right now? Because they're getting pulled both ways.
A ton.
There is an absolute battle for UNLV. And I know Vegas sucks and nobody cares. Keep telling yourself that. When you look at these conversations about athletic departments losing money, UNLV is right on the tipping point of that. That market is incredibly important. That town is incredibly important. That university is incredibly important. And it's why I continue to say our breaking news today that we have exclusively on the Monty Show about the fact that the Pac-12 and the Mountain West have recently talked about a merger. And when I say recently, after the poaching lawsuits and these exit fee lawsuits were filed, I'm telling you, the only way that these two conferences survive is to merge.
Yeah.
And you look at this story about Utah losing big money on athletics in 2024, they're not nearly alone. And the problem for conferences like the ACC has spent so much money on legal fees defending itself. They don't have a whole lot of losses to take.
Yeah.
Conferences like the Mountain West, the Pac-12, they don't like. There's this big belief out there that the Pac-12 has this unbelievable war chest. They don't. It's allocated. They spent the money before they ever got it.
Mm-hmm. Because they didn't have a choice.
It was the only way that they were going to be able to facilitate athletic endeavors for Oregon State and Washington State and expand. They're paying schools to come into the conference.
Yeah.
That's the only way they're able to do it.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't, you can call us, I know a lot of people criticize us and say that we're negative and we're, we hate on the Pac-12, but I just genuinely don't see it. I mean, we can have, bro, this topic in particular is one that I really enjoy talking about because of all the different angles on it and the dynamic. But in all of our conversation through it, in all the time I've spent thinking about it and pondering, like, okay, what are ways I haven't thought of that they could get through this? What are other angles that maybe we're not thinking about? Let's get outside the box. I've been able to come up with anything. I can't think of a way legitimately for them to get through this situation, the Pac-12 to break through and actually get to where they want to go. The merger is the best option for everybody involved.
But you also, to this right here, what Mayor McCluskey said, you can't go broke paying athletes.
Yeah.
If you pay a Cam Rising and he's not on the field and you suck out loud, do you know how much more expensive that Cam Rising revenue sharing deal will be this coming season?
Yeah.
Cam is an example. Obviously, he's not at Utah anymore.
But there are loads of those examples.
If you brought in Jason Beck and Dampier and you pay them good money and you don't win, you know how damaging that is?
Yeah.
If you're not getting, and the Big 12, I think in the very near future is going to go to a merit-based revenue distribution system. If you do not bring in recruits and hire coaches that win, and you don't go to the college football playoff and you don't win college football playoff games, you're in real trouble. You're in real trouble. Think about, again, your example yesterday of Boise State. Boise State. What if Boise State had won a college football playoff game?
Yeah.
What if they had won and you distributed more than the $8 million you got with 0 wins? What if Arizona State had gotten a targeting call and won a game?
A different picture.
But they didn't. And so Utah, who's running at a deficit, doesn't get more money because Arizona State didn't win. Do you understand that Arizona State had the entirety of their conference on their back? And I think one of the main reasons you're seeing the Pac-12 with Boise State because Boise State's going to get to keep an inordinate amount of the money that they generate. Why do you think Gonzaga agreed to join the Pac-2 instead of the Big 12? Well, one, a guaranteed ticket to the dance every year, but they're also keeping a larger share of the revenue they generate.
Gonzaga.
That's part of the agreement in the Pac-12. And I think you're smart for it.
Yeah.
You're smart for it. But I'm telling you now, you look at this graphic right here, you better win games and you better go to the college football playoff. And Utah needs to win the Big 12 this year.
Yeah, I just don't understand why schools are not risk averse right now when it comes to the Pac-12. I don't understand how you look at that picture and feel good about it.
Listen, and again, I think this is really incredibly well
Spot
said.
on, dude.
It is, and it's a little surprising from you, McCluskey, you know, because you hate Alex Caruso. Never mind. Brandon Butler, does this make bowl games that much more important? No. Because the average bowl game doesn't pay you very much money. You lose money going to a bowl game because you're traveling a much larger party when you're going to the Dickies Glory Hole bowl game. You're traveling a huge party. It's why Utah loves playing in the Las Vegas Bowl or the New Mexico Bowl, or because it's expensive to travel your whole team, your practice squad, all of your support staff, their family, your family. You're traveling, the airfare, the hotel, the food table. Like, it's a hugely expensive thing to go to a bowl game.
Yeah.
It is not cheap. Now, if we're talking about going to the college football playoff, well, now we're talking about tens of millions of dollars on the line. So, you know, Eric Wasikowski, BYU, Utah, both making the playoff next year, laughable. They're not. The odds of that, I expect some sort of sanity to be back at the table next year. And I think that it is going to be an incredibly difficult hill to climb in the Big 12. Because I think you're probably going to have, if I'm sitting here right now contemplating, I don't know what Arizona State's going to be next year without the Scatterboo.
Scatterboo.
Without Scatterboo. Is Levitt capable? I don't know. But if you look at the top of this conference next year, I think there's 4 or 5 teams that could contend for a conference championship.
Yeah.
You know, so when you look at all this stuff, I tend to think that there's a real opportunity for a Utah to bounce right back, especially with what they've done. This is what I always say about Oak State. You just haven't done anything. But BYU's better today than they were at any point last season.
Yeah.
Utah today is better than any point they were last season. I think TCU's going to be better. I don't know, like Avery Johnson, like we can go into this, and I'm sure we will a million times. But Utah and BYU, I think, will both be there. They will both be there. Big Papa War Machine. Baylor's got to scam someone into buying out Aranda. Shine his head up a bit, slap that surfboard finish on there, and see how much we can get from it. And I know I've said this, and you're probably tired of hearing me say it. The days of mediocrity being the standard in the bar are over.
Yeah.
That Oklahoma State cut Mike Gundy's salary and kept him as a head coach is a travesty.
Under the guise that they needed more money for NIL.
That Dave Aranda's still at Baylor is a travesty. Joey McGuire, I don't think should have been fired, but the heat needs to be on. And boy, did they not have the best portal in the country?
Yeah.
I mean,
he came through. He deserves credit.
He absolutely came through.
Yeah, he came through.
And my opinion is that you're looking at a different day and time in Lubbock, and it better be tortillas for everybody.
Yeah, they got to win some ball games, dude. No doubt.
They absolutely do. So, the stadium guy, James, remember Arizona State went 3-9 the year before? It's possible for a team to turn things around.
Yeah, but I also think that what you're not talking about is who's at the helm.
And you had the best. Leading. You had the best running back in the country. You had one of the best wide receivers in the conference. Like you had talent, and you had a coach that had his players running through a wall for him.
Yeah.
Not giving them free passes on DUIs.
Yeah.
James. Harry. James, how are you? Your butthole's done doing whatever your butthole was doing.
Yeah, he said he's doing better with that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we've stopped eating at Buc-ee's.
No.
How's the wife? Like, how's your life?
Yeah. What's up, dude?
Have you gotten to the bottom of pedophile priest yet with your book?
Yeah. When's your next trip or whatever? Are you taking another, like you usually take trips or whatever?
Yeah. You're always texting Jake when you guys are kissing goodnight. You're always texting Jake, telling him, well, hey man, I'm going to Poughkeepsie to see Jimmy's new IPF. And then you wind up with things in your butthole. But that is, I don't judge them, but let's move on. College sports are heading into professional sports. I think they're there already, right? College soccer is talking about going to a professional league and working with the United States Soccer Federation. It's coming.
Rocket science that United States Soccer would create a feeder system.
No, stop. Why do you say stupid stuff like that?
I know, dude.
Why would USA Soccer want to do what the rest of the world does and actually win games anyway?
I don't know what you're talking about.
BYU made a great turnaround from their first year in the Big 12 to second. Leadership matters.
It does.
Jay Hill. Like lifting weights matters, and your quarterback not having an appendicitis, and anyway. Big Papa War Machine. Kenny Dilldog. His name's not Dilldog. Dillingham versus GPA Gundy. Steel cage death match. Let's see it. Well, Mike will probably be drunk, and he'll be running stairs with Ollie. Wasikowskinator. Playoff bands are not coming to Michigan. Okay.
Again, we
have we seen
different day, dude.
Have we seen bowl bands and postseason bands in recent times? Yeah, we have. Jeremy Bolton. Also, you guys hit the slopes anymore? My wife hates me for saying this, but she's too old and she's broken down mechanically and she can't do it. So my wife wants to go snowboarding and I will not do it. And I've told you guys this. I'm fat. Let's just leave it at that. Why aren't you snowboarding? I'm fat. Brandon Butler. If you're getting paid to play a game, you're a professional sport. I would agree with that. Hit the likes. 7K subs to go. Yes. Hit the like button, please. It really helps the channel.
It's 7K to what?
140,000. I don't know. What are we at? Subscribe. I don't usually look at it. Let's see. We are currently at 133,358.
Yeah. Subscribe to the show, dude. Hit the like button.
Yeah, hit the like button and subscribe. That would be amazing.
Unlike college football, it doesn't cost you any money.
Which is fine. Big Papa War Machine. The U.S. soccer situation with the Big 12 trying to expand into Mexico and South America is interesting. I'm keeping my good eye on it. Well, what about what's your bad eye looking at? Okay. That's awkward too. I would agree with that. Real quick. Could you be a professional athlete? So did you guys see that Rory McIlroy and Shane Lowry both carded hole-in-ones at Pebble Beach yesterday? Shane on the iconic 7th hole, which is different than Jake's 2 holes.
Right.
And Rory McIlroy on Spyglass Hill.
Rory.
I think the 15th at Spyglass. And so I saw all the people on Twitter and everywhere saying, oh, it's just golf. It's not that big of an accomplishment. Okay, so let me ask you something. Do you think that you could play on the PGA Tour if all you had to do was lift weights, be in shape, practice golf? Do you think you could be do you think you could hit a hole-in-one and be a PGA professional golfer? There's not a chance in the world you could do that. I'm 52. I don't think I could do it.
Mm-hmm.
I think that and I feel like I am improving, and as people around me constantly tell me, you're better than the average Joe, dude. Do you really think if you all day long, how many years would it take you to even sniff the Korn Ferry Tour or qualify for the U.S. Amateur to get yourself into a U.S. Open? Because that's how most people wind up. Most weekend warriors who think they can play professional golf, what you do is you go play in these qualifying tournaments. And most people start with their club championship, and because playing in tournament golf is really difficult. It's a completely different thing than going out on the weekends with you and Jimmy, right? But I thought it was fascinating. We get 2 hole-in-ones, and all of the weekend warriors come out of the woodwork. The over-the-top swinger guy who's like, oh, yeah, I could do it. Do you really think it's possible?
I mean, I think if it's all you're doing, yeah, I do think it's possible. I think I think the one thing with golf that's a little bit different than other sports is you don't have to run a 4.340. You don't have to jump out of the gym. You know, the thing with golf that I think makes it unique is that it's all about your swing and your mechanics and understanding what you're trying to do to the ball. So how many years would it take to sniff the Korn Ferry Tour? Yeah, I think you're probably 2-3 years of practicing, probably 6 days a week, being in shape.
Having it be all you do.
Yeah, having it be
your
all
entire
you do.
life.
Yeah, I think if it was all I did, I think if it was all I did, it would probably take me a year to play, 70s golf, score in the 70s. And then I think from there, once you can start consistently scoring, then you have to get to a place where you can play the tips, where driving wise, you're able to drive it 280, 300, consistently. And maybe you're hitting, like 12 fairways out of all 18, like, getting to that place where you can actually play the game reasonably. So the reason I say I think it's possible in golf is because you don't have to run as fast as Xavier Worthy and jump as high as LeBron. You just have to have a swing that is good enough to play at that level, which, again, everybody's capable of doing that, provided they have the time to practice. Like,
I think I could be if it's all I did. I'm 52.
Mm-hmm.
Admittedly, I have the club head speed and the ball speed most people die for.
Mm-hmm.
With my driver, I'm usually 175 miles an hour ball speed, 115 miles an hour in club speed. My swing is terrible right now. I'm going through a pretty major swing change. I'm still hitting the driver 300 yards.
Mm-hmm.
I think if it's all I did every day for probably a year, I could be a scratch golfer, which means a 0 handicap.
Mm.
That's not even close to good enough to playing in a professional tournament.
Mm-hmm.
Like I like there's a guy that's, I think it's Be Strong Hit Bombs. I can't remember the guy's account. His swing is ridiculously good. It's all he does. He's trying to qualify to play in the Masters. He wants to play in the Masters. He can't qualify to get into a U.S. Open.
Mm-hmm.
And he's a scratch golfer, really good golfer, college golfer, like cannot qualify to get into the U.S. Open, is having trouble qualifying to get into the U.S. Amateur, because when you go out and you work on your game and then you go play tournaments, you figure out, well, I'm a scratch golfer when it's me and Kevy. And then I go play in a tournament and I'm so nervous, and I think his tournament scores are like +7s.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I do think that there's an added layer to it. So what I'm saying is, I'm not saying it's easy to go out and get on the Korn Ferry Tour or to play in the Masters. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that if it's all you did, if I got paid $78,000 a year just to golf, let's say.
Yep.
And all I did, my whole job was to improve my swing and actually get better and do that. I'm saying just to get to a competitive level, it would be probably 2 to 3 years of doing it every day, or 5 to 6 days a week at least. And then from there, you've got the added layer of being able to perform in a tournament setting with the pressure on, which is a whole nother thing that you have to learn how to do. So that's what I'm saying. Like it is possible. The problem is that the amount of practice it takes is like a full-time job, man.
And the other part of it is, look at all the best golfers in the world. Who's the best golfer in the world?
Scotty Scheffler.
He came out of the womb holding a golf club.
Yeah.
It's been his entire life.
Yeah. I mean,
Rory McIlroy. There's pictures of Tiger Woods. Tiger Woods. There's not baby pictures of him without a golf club. I think to be a good professional golfer, just to make the tour, it's got to be your entire life from the time you were a kid to college. You got to play college golf, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's the ideal path. Yeah.
I just think it's so difficult. And I'm like on my best day, I'm probably a 7 handicap. I think right now I'm probably a 15 handicap with my swing where it is right now. I think probably in the middle of the summer, I'll probably be a 5. But that's not even, I can't even. Our guy, Garrett Van Dyke, our fitter for PXG, doesn't play golf. He works too much. but he was a professional golfer. We went and played with him this summer. The guy showed up 3 minutes before the round, hit 20 shots, and is just like ding, ding. Like, we're not even close. I don't think it's possible. I don't think it's possible. I just don't.
Think, but I think what you can't discount is like, again, when someone, this is what I've always said about golf, and like, you can't put a price on like the amount of practice you don't get right now. You think you practice a lot, but when it comes
totally agree.
When it comes to actually scoring and playing the kind of golf you want to play, you would have to practice like literally every day. You would probably have to hit, like with your irons, like if you really want to dial it in, you'd probably have to hit like 300-400 iron shots a day, and then you'd have to hit your woods.
It's 1,000 swings a day, and then you go play 9 holes.
Like I just think that it is, yes, it's possible. People think that golf is this game of like, gosh, it's how do you hit the ball straight? Well, you practice and practice. It's like, how do you think you go to sleep? Well, you do it every day. So when your body learns, like, you have to swing that much. It has to become second nature. You can't be saying to yourself, gosh, I don't know why I'm slicing the ball today. No, you have to know why you're doing things and know how to change things and understand swing path versus face angle. And like, it's not just like
I just thought it was interesting.
Yeah.
What sport do you think you could be a professional athlete in? I don't think any. I don't think if it's not your life, I think it's so incredibly difficult. Having been behind the scenes a lot, seeing the way that guys grind. Again, the guy that I always point to is Kobe Bryant. Like, I used to get to Staples Center for Lakers games when I worked for the Lakers radio network. I used to go to the games early, and I would get there at like 3:30. Dude, I would go to morning shoot around, and he would shoot, and he would be there. He'd stay after. You get there at like 3:30 for a 7:30 game, and he's already halfway through a workout. Every day. And then I'm done setting up my radio equipment. I go down, I sit courtside and just watch him shoot. Nobody's out there. And then occasionally one of the visitors will get there around 4:30, 5 o'clock. And they'll come out and shoot and warm up and work on. But the grind, you guys have no idea how hard people work. I mean, it's just, it's impossible. It's impossible.
That's what I'm saying. There's a lot of value to doing one thing and having that one thing be your thing, right? Like people like to do like 10 things at once. You're not going to ever be good at it if you're doing all these things at once.
Noel Ramirez says, I dropped 10 points on Austin Reeves back in high school.
Nice, dude.
Nice. The level of hustle it requires to be a great professional athlete. You can have all the talent in the world and still not be good. It requires dedication, and most people don't have it.
Mm-hmm.
I would agree with that. Kim Coulter played high school and college golf. No disrespect, but you have no idea. You have no idea.
Yeah.
You have no idea.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, I think, like, again, I want to be clear. Like, I'm not saying it would be easy. The question was not, would it be easy to be a professional golfer? The question was, is it possible? It is possible, but you have to have time. This is what nobody understands. Like, you think going to the range for 2 hours once a week is going to get you like a tour card. Like, no, it's not, dude. You need to be at the range probably 7 hours a day, swinging and working and practicing. And like, I'm telling you, it has to be everything to you.
Yep. Sergeant Green says, hell no. 2 years ago, played the best round of my life, -5. Went out the next day with a sore wrist and ended up tearing ligaments. That was a year ago. 2 surgeries later, still recovering. I battle a wrist injury. I'm wearing I just got a wrist brace, and it hurts. It doesn't hurt me on the day-to-day, but I clearly am battling wrist tendonitis.
But like that wrist situation, I think you would agree with this. That's a product of your natural swing, right? It's a product of flipping your wrist every time you swing, and also not having enough time during the week to practice enough to work that out of the swing. So what is guys like us who don't golf for a living, what happens to us? Well, we swing it, Like right now in the wintertime, like you swing it a couple times a week. I probably swing it a couple times a month, and you just live with it. It is what it is for regular Joe guy.
Yeah.
But if I could golf full time, yeah, I would have a whole routine. This is what I always say. If I just had a 9 to 5, dude, the schedule would look so different. And this is like with all the work we do and how long our days are. Like I look at people who just have the 9 to 5, and I'm like, hey, if you're not like taking care of yourself, like that's a choice, bro. Like
you're making
you
a
have
choice.
Time, like.
Yeah. Man, Mrs. Monty and I were talking about it. Like I'm struggling. Like I would love to lift weights 3 days a week.
Mm-hmm.
You make time for what matters, right? I'm not a guy that's going to go to the gym after work. If I didn't have my Peloton at home, I probably would never work out. And I'm glad I've gotten into riding the Peloton but it's really difficult. But you make time for what matters. It's as simple as that. I dropped 10 points on Austin Reeves in high school. It's still one of the great competitions ever. Same thing with owning your own business. It has to be your every waking moment. And trust me, as somebody who's done that, it's very difficult to build that.
Yeah.
If esports count, then yes. Man sports, no.
Esports does count, dude. I think if you want to be a professional Call of Duty player, you need to understand that's not for everybody, dude.
Yeah. Jeremy Bolton, I said it before, but think I'm right. I'm in all right shape, try my best, but no way in God's green earth could I be a professional athlete. My body at my age couldn't take the toll now.
Right.
Yeah. 21 times a month will get your wrist where it needs to be. Damn right, Giggity.
Hey.
Damn right. Your wrist hurts because of your golf swing. Right. I wish that was not the truth. Dude, I wish, hey, man. But the funny thing is, 21 times a month, your wrist doesn't need flexation for 21 times a month. Okay. Giggity, that's against the law now. Yeah, there you go. $1,000 fine in Mississippi.
Right.
Throwing seed out. That awkward guy, I work my wrist out, but it's due to different types of strokes. Totally get it.
Right. It's all about the stroking, dudes. Yeah, it's all about the strokes, bro.
Honestly, I'd start stroking guys.
You have no idea until you have to wipe your ass with your non-dominant hand.
Oh my God, dude. Yeah. It's
I worry about my wrist injury. I worry about it's really bad in the wintertime, not really bad in the summertime. And I worry about how much. It's why I quite literally bought this wrist brace because I worry about it. Like it's sitting here, like it's uncomfortable to just notch my hand like that. So I ice it. I have respect for it. Whole chat suffering from arthritis ain't even a joke.
Yeah.
Reister says my wrists are strong, but I have trouble seeing. Are you Catholic? You must be, Midweek Cougar, member for 11 months. My mom told me I could be anything I want to be. Man, I wish that were true. Your mom is a liar. All right, real quick. What's the best Super Bowl food? Jake sent me this article last night and was so excited. Oh my God, Monty, you got to see this thing that Costco's doing. Why don't you go ahead and explain to the world your big Costco fascination?
Pull up the thing. Pull up the graphic. I got a whole thing from the website. So Costco is rolling out a burger pack where you can buy, I think it's this one was the 12 pack.
Total pack, 6 pounds total.
There are select Costco's that will be offering a 28 pack for your Super Bowl party. Burger patties and a whole kit. Like it comes with cheese and lettuce, like a whole thing. And I said, this is smart by Costco. They sell burger patties, just generally speaking, by the bag already. So I'm not at all surprised that they would roll something out like this. Now I wouldn't be getting. I'm all good with a turkey burger. I'll knock down a turkey burger anytime you want to. But that beef burger is a little bit different, especially when it's Wagyu. You're paying a lot of money for it to have that burger.
First of all, I don't believe in Wagyu. I just think it's I'm not paying the prices that people want you to pay for this.
Mm-hmm.
But if you look at this, look at the ingredients of this. 12 8-ounce American Wagyu burger, 75% lean.
Mm-hmm.
With 12 artisanal buns, 1.5 pounds of heritage Applewood smoked bacon. Why don't you guys just rip your colons out and throw them in the garbage? 1 8-ounce tub of black truffle butter. It ships uncooked and frozen. I'm like, no.
Okay, so what are
No.
you having on Super Bowl Sunday?
I don't know yet. We haven't really decided it. We had talked about chicken strips. We had talked about wings. Tendies. I guarantee you it won't be a Wagyu steak for $7 million.
Listen, it's a burger. Come
it
on.
won't be a Wagyu burger for $7 million.
Look, Jim, we got a burger for you, okay?
You know,
We're getting somewhere.
It's just not. I'm old. I'm an old fart.
Mhm.
Like we were going to go to, I have a gift certificate to Ruth's Chris in Park City, but there's this atmospheric river, bro.
Please.
That's coming Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So we're not going up to Park City. But I'm like, okay, that's probably good because then I won't have a steak.
Atmospheric river.
That's what your boy Chase.
Chase Thomason. Yeah. Yep.
Who's never right because Utah weather is impossible to predict.
Yeah.
Or forecast. Meteorology. Meteorologist. I can't say D and the P, right?
Right.
It's impossible to forecast.
Yeah.
It's quite literally an atmospheric river.
Yeah, we're gonna get a bunch of rain in the valley
of moisture, and the mountains are going to get pounded with snow.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm like, hey, then I probably won't be. At least I won't be having a steak, right? And I'm just that guy now. Did you guys see all the new studies that dropped this week about creatine and your brain?
Mm-hmm.
There's new studies that say people who are sleep deprived, which means you get less than 6.5 hours of sleep a night, that's considered sleep deprived. They did a test on a group, and they gave sleep deprived people 20 milligram doses, which is way over the top, 20 milligram doses of creatine. And they gave the other half of the group a placebo, fake creatine. And there are measurable, noticeable difference on brain scans for sleep-deprived people who take creatine in large doses when they're sleep-deprived. Like I take probably 5 to 8 grams of creatine every single day, usually in my oats. Like that's where I am at in my life now. As a guy with an extra long colon, according to my doctor.
Yeah, well, it's got an extra corner to it, Marty.
I'm in this place where I'm eating oats every day. We had Chinese food for dinner last night. There's nothing.
Guess you didn't enjoy that either.
I loved every bite of it. But man, I was thinking to myself, should have just gone to Chipotle. Because Mrs. Monty and I were discussing
things that
Chipotle.
You enjoy right now,
food-wise,
like anything-wise.
Oh, dude, the Impossible Nuggets, gas.
But like, do you eat anything and fully enjoy it right now, or is it always a thing where you're like, hey, I shouldn't have eaten this?
No, Mrs. Monty made mashed potatoes that were unbelievable.
Yeah.
These purple potatoes she's making. I had a purple potato the other day for lunch with some ground turkey. Unbelievable. I love that stuff. But I'll be honest with you. If I eat a cheeseburger, I'm like, dude, this is killing you. What are you doing? What are you doing? Like, I'll say to myself, dude, it's Friday. Today's Friday. Maybe I'll get a Beto's burrito for breakfast. Nah, I can't do that. You're fat already. Like, I've done that part of my life where I have zero accountability and I'll just eat whatever I want. Where did that get you? Well, it got you fat. And now I'm in this phase of my life where I'm like, okay, well, you're about to turn 52. The next 5 years have to be about pure profit and losing weight and getting healthy. Because I legit want to live to be 100. And I don't want to be wheelchair Monty at 100. And I'm just shitting myself constantly.
Pulling up to the mic in a wheelchair.
And hoping that somebody's injecting creatine into my brain so I'm functional. Like, I don't want to be that one. Throw me out in front of a train if that's what it is.
Right.
I want to live like a high quality of life. And I want to do that when I'm 100. I want to be walking down the street holding my wife's hand at 100. So you got to eat beans, right? You can't be eating Wagyu burgers with bacon that you darn well know is terrible for you. I've had that fun already. And now you can't do that anymore. So you got to find time to lift weights. You got to find time to walk. You got to find time to.
Yeah.
And when you ask me, like, if I enjoy, when I eat crappy food, I don't enjoy it. Like we had this Chinese food last night. Laying in bed, I woke up this morning because people hate me in this world. I get out of bed at usually 4:10, 4:06 every day. Woke up at 3:50, just dead awake. After like, I'm 52 having hot flashes like I'm going through menopause. Right? Like last night, I wake up, I laid down at probably 8:30, 9 o'clock, whatever. I wake up at 11:40 and just, I am in a, you might as well put me in a kiln, man. Like I'm on fire. And I've got a fan on. And so I'm at this point where you can't eat Chinese food at 7 o'clock and then go to bed at 9.
Yeah.
That's when you gain weight and you have hot flashes. I accept that it's who I am now.
Mm-hmm.
I accept that that's where my body is. And I have to be accountable to myself because I've lost all these inches. I haven't lost weight. I've changed my body composition. I haven't lost enough fat, man. And so if I'm eating Wagyu burgers at the Super Bowl, it'll just be the Super Bowl, right? You can't eat Oreos. You can't do it.
Yeah.
They're into the lesson. I don't know why I'm railing right now, but you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah,
like,
I understand what you're saying. Yeah. I mean, I think, everyone's in a different place with it, but I mean, that's where you're at with it,
Jeremy Bolton, zero accountability during the holidays got me a 205 cholesterol. Dude.
Damn.
I think it's very interesting that when you and Jake and I are very different on this. Jake will never go get a physical. He will never get his blood worked. You're just not that guy. I get my physical every August. And I want to know what my cholesterol is. Well, why am I going to go and they're going to tell me I have high cholesterol? Because you want to know what it is. I take my blood pressure. I try to take my blood pressure a couple times a week. Thankfully, I have, as my wife hates for you to know, I have perfect cholesterol, perfect triglycerides, not diabetic in any way, shape, or form. And it's only because her and I work at it. We eat pretty well. I take my vitamins every single day, the same time, the same way, every single day, because I don't want to have 205 cholesterol. And you're 30, I'm 50. Trust me when I tell you, you're going to get somewhere around 40 and you're going to be like, shit, I wish I'd have done that when I was 30. Because it's so hard as you get older. And I don't know how old everybody is here, but it's so much more difficult when you're older to unwind the watch anymore. You can't unwind the cholesterol, the potato chips, the Doritos. I'll never forget this flippin' midget doctor in Phoenix that gave me like those invasive physicals that my wife signed us up for. Changed my life. Because he said, just know every time you eat a Dorito, you're asking yourself, do you want diabetes or not? Oh, you do? Go ahead and eat the Doritos. You literally said that to me. Right? It's wild. It's just wild to me. You can't do it anymore, man. Why do I not drink soda? Diet or otherwise. It's terrible for you. Don't drink your calories. The only calories I drink, this right here. And this is 10 calories for the entire can. I also drink a bottle of orange juice every morning, a little small single serving thing of orange juice. Man, you can't drink your calories. Yeah. I don't care if you drink diet soda. It's not good for you, right? Mr. Preston, hello. Carnivore diet works for me. Never been in better shape. Do what works for you. You got to find what works for you. I will tell you, I lost a ton of weight on the Atkins diet back in the early 2000s.
Yeah, I mean, I think the challenge right now is just lack of activity because of what our day is like.
Yes.
And again, it's at some point, can't be working as much as we work at some point.
I totally agree. Brandon Butler, andropause is real, brother. What's that? Do I want to know what that is? Talking with Raphael podcast. Oatmeal is good to lower cholesterol. I have a half a cup of oatmeal every day.
Yeah.
Oatmeal, creatine, bucked up creatine. Get it on Amazon. God bless my wife too. Like she wrote on top of my creatine jug, don't forget the chia seeds. Because I'm trying to get more B vitamin chia seeds are a great source of B vitamins. I have a scoop of creatine, a scoop of chia seeds, cinnamon, half a cup-ish of oats, blueberries. I try to mix berries. So blueberries, right now it's blueberries and raspberries because blackberries are out of season. So blueberries and raspberries. And then a scoop of peanut butter. Sometimes my wife has some sugar in the raw, some brown sugar in the raw. I might sprinkle a little brown sugar in the raw on it, but I try not to add sugar every day because I try not to eat added sugar. But yeah, oatmeal is great for your cholesterol. Been eating the oatmeal, going to start on some fish oil, but dang it, need to change my diet. Dude, I'm telling you right now, here's how I have good cholesterol, like perfect cholesterol number. I take CoQ10 twice a day. I take 1 CoQ10 and 2, it's a plant sterol supplement called Cholestoff. It's all plant sterols. I take 2 of those in the morning, 2 of those at night, with 1 CoQ10. I take magnesium twice a day. I take vitamin D, vitamin B12, and at night I take ashwagandha and that CoQ10 in the plant sterol. I eat oatmeal, and my wife, God bless her, she sits on my chest and shoves black beans and pinto beans down my throat. She makes me mashed potato. Do it with your wife, you guys. If you want to be in better health, you need accountability. My wife's saying to me this morning, when's the last time you went to the gym? Never. I'm supposed to be swimming on Monday nights. Have I done that even one time? I have not. Now, I am riding my Peloton 3 times a week. I haven't missed. I'll probably miss this week, although I'll probably do it today at lunch and tomorrow after golf. That'll give me my 3 times. 3 times a week, I'm riding my Peloton. I have a yoga ball in my office, and so I'm doing a lot more core. I try to do 50 sit-ups once a day. But I'm telling you guys, that's how you lower your cholesterol. And you know what else?
Water.
Drink your water. You want to lower your cholesterol? Drink your water. Stop eating fast food.
Yeah.
Like, it's not rocket science. I don't do anything special or unique. Let's get it right.
Yeah.
I don't eat fast food. I don't eat French fries ever.
Yeah, I think the diet stuff is great. Obviously, that's what you want to be doing. But I think the source of your success has just been the supplements. Like you've done different things. It's changed, like for the better, for the worse, whatever. But the supplements have been consistent for however long now, like 20 years or whatever it's been.
And results don't lie. And every time we have these conversations, people are like, "Oh, you guys, you're fat." Okay, cool. I'm fat. I still had a perfect colonoscopy. How many polyps did you have in your colonoscopy if you got one? I had none.
Mm-hmm.
Knock on wood.
Yeah.
If
you're with me.
Yeah, knock on wood if you're with me, right? Y2 banana.
Right.
I had no polyps in my, and we joke about a long colon. Quite literally, my colonoscopy guy's like, you have an extra long colon.
Are we clear on that?
We had to physically move you to get all the way through your colon. Hey man, why do I eat pistachios? I have a bag of pistachios on my desk. I eat pistachios when I play golf. Well, it turns out pistachios are actually really good for you as long as you include them in your diet on a regular basis. So I do now. My wife bought me a bag of Kirkland pistachios last week.
Yeah. Anyway.
Don't be an idiot.
Yeah.
Okay, a couple more because then we really got to go. Fat Jesus, low cholesterol, super long colon, living the dream. Totally, dude. I am absolutely living the dream. Menopause for men is andropause, and it's a real thing. We need to raise awareness, dude. In all seriousness, there are times that my wife and I will be talking. I'll just say to her, there are times where I'm not in control of my emotions. Like, I feel sad. Yesterday, I was texting my wife. Like, I just feel kept, dude. Like, I never fucking leave the house.
Yeah.
I never leave my office. I'm either in the studio or at my in the. Like, I'm never like just. It's too cold out. Or during the fall, I was going for a walk at lunch every day. I was going around my block, and that made all the difference in the world. I'm not going outside now. It's too cold, man. But I feel kept. Like, and I was sitting there texting my wife, and I said, "Hey, can we just go to the grocery store tonight, or let's just go to Chipotle and Like, and she's like, yeah, let's grab a burrito and go sit at the lake and just kind of chit chat. Like but when I was texting her, I was like actually feeling a little melancholy.
Mm-hmm.
So again, I'm going to be 52 in February. I feel like mentally I am changing. I have much better perspective. I was very proud of myself at H Mart. This asshole in his Jeep last week tried to like road rage me and I didn't go for it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, nice job.
Big advancements, right? But I feel like male menopause is a thing. I am not even kidding.
Scroll up just a little bit. I want to see this right there, that Justin comment about how we're ignorant.
You guys are ignorant when discussing the Pac-12. I recommend you. I recommend learning more about the topic before opening your mouth. I can help you both if you'd like.
Oh, man. Wow, dude.
Welcome to the comment section. We're undefeated on the Big 12. So
the Pac-12.
Man, or the Pac-12. I can't wait to hear your great awesomeness. Let's see. Talking with Raphael, I drink 1 gallon of water a day. I have my 10-ounce coffee, but I'd add protein shake instead of creamer. My wife used to be a hardcore coffee gal, and I don't know that she drinks that much coffee anymore.
Yeah.
I feel bad. Like, I've dumbed our lives down. We don't drink. She, like, threw out liquor bottles last weekend. We don't drink. She used to have, like, a wine membership at Maui Wine, and we just don't drink. I'm a terrible influence.
All right, we got to go.
I eat a salad for lunch, down 180 pounds from 217 18 months ago. Okay. There you go. Gumby, I always need a hug. It just is what it is, man. Good talking to you guys. Appreciate you. Thanks for being here. Another great week on the show, even though I don't know dick about the Pac-12.
Well, you're just ignorant.
Thank you. We're ignorant on the Pac-12, even though we've nailed that story for the last 2 years, but we don't know what we're talking about.
Thanks for coming, dude. Appreciate it.
Everybody's welcome. Everybody ain't able, but y'all welcome. All right, I'll take my long colon out. Jake, until Monday, say goodbye, Jake.
Goodbye, Jake.